of me figure out how you can favor a team that never wins, ever.
If you're looking for sports talk centered around the latest odds and prop bets for games, races, tournaments, or any sporting event, Sports Grid Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 159.
This is Bob Kendrick, president of the Negro Leagues Baseball Museum and host of the Sirius XM original podcast, Black Diamonds. Hear stories about the legends of the Negro Leagues and conversations with the all-time greats they've influenced, like five-time World Series champion Derek Jeter.
I don't care what race you are. You need to know your past. This is U.S. history. It's not just baseball history.
Hear over 70 episodes of the award-winning Black Diamonds podcast, available now on the Sirius XM app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The Busted Open podcast is now available on YouTube. This is Dave LaGreca, host of Busted Open, the #1 pro wrestling show on the planet. You can now watch and listen to the award-winning Busted Open podcast every single day on YouTube. Our best interviews, behind-the-scenes access, and some of our best content from the past. All available right now when you go to youtube.com/@BustedOpenPodcast. Subscribe right now.
Celebrate the history of the Masters on Backstory. We explain why Spanish roots run deep at Augusta National, how Tiger's unlikely 2019 win unfolded.
And in! He has done it! Tiger is back!
And Arnie's memorable walk. Listen to Backstory, the Masters, Tuesday, April 2nd at 8 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM PGA Tour Radio, Channel 92 in the car, and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Blue Jays fans, your manager, John Schneider, joins MLB Network Radio's Hour Alley every other Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern.
I got all the confidence in the world in Joe Romano. I've known him for a long time. I know his demeanor. And I always say, when you're talking about a closer giving up a couple runs in the ninth inning, it's just so much more magnified than a starting pitcher giving up a two-run homer.
Managers at the mic on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89 and the SXM app.
Hello, Blue Jay fans. I'm Craig Ballard, host of your daily Locked On Blue Jays podcast. Locked On Blue Jays is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Locked On Blue Jays brings you the latest Blue Jays news and analysis and breaks down all of the action. Locked On Blue Jays is everything a Blue Jays fan could want, all in a 30-minute daily podcast. Download Locked On Blue Jays right now on the SXM app, available with all trials and popular plans, or wherever you get your podcasts. Search Locked On Blue Jays.
March Madness is finally here. With the best analysis.
That team is going to be a tough out.
And coverage of the ACC teams and the NCAA tournament. Tune into Sirius XM ACC Radio. From the title contenders to the Cinderella teams, we've got you covered through the national championship in Phoenix.
Holy smokes, what a play by R.J. Davis.
It's all on Sirius XM ACC Radio, Channel 371, and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
This slams a ball to right field. Way back. Way gone.
Is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Low rounding and heading for second. The throw. In time.
On the Sportsnet Radio Network.
One more try at the Trop. In the last of a 4-game set in St. Petersburg, the Blue Jays look to salvage this series with a win today that would lead them to a split against the Tampa Bay Rays. Toronto might just have the guy on the mound to do it. Hi, thanks so much for tuning in on this Sunday afternoon. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left is former Major Leaguer Chris LaRue. Our host today is Show Ali. Nick Blackmore is our producer, and Tom Young is our technical director. Toronto Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Lévis, Quebec, and West Quebec City. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. The Blue Jays have gone cold over the last 2 games, surrendering 13 runs and only scoring 3 in back-to-back losses. So Toronto turns to the stopper. Ace and Cy Young finalist Kevin Gausman debuts today against an opener day for Sean Armstrong and the Rays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, streaming on the Sportsnet app, sportsnet.ca, and across the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
When you have an iconic look like Danny Jansen, picking new glasses can be tough.
Too big, too small, too cool, too much, too 90s, too futuristic. I think I'm just going to stick with the originals. These are working just fine.
He is really seeing the ball well.
Your friends will do a double take when they see you in your Danny Jansen new blue replica jersey and glasses.
And he's got some style.
On Monday, April 29th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Jano bundle. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Everyone dreams of owning their own personal slice of heaven. Now you can, thanks to Fixed Rate Pizza by Pizza Pizza. Until the end of 2024, lock into an extra-large 4-topping pizza at a fixed price of $17.99. No matter how bad food prices get this year, your pizza price stays. So why not say no to surge pricing and yes to Fixed Rate Pizza? Order now from Pizza Pizza.
Order pizzapizza.ca. Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Centre. Visit timbermart.ca.
The NBA playoffs are right around the corner, and you can hear the best matchups and wall-to-wall coverage on NBA Radio Channel 86.
Driving through the rim, got there, lays it up and in!
We're getting you ready for the postseason with our experts all day, every day.
This is what playoff basketball is, man. This ain't about pretty stuff.
Defensively, they have zero weaknesses.
The NBA postseason starts April 16th, and your home for all the action is NBA Radio Channel 86 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The UFC is on SiriusXM. Hear all the action live from the Octagon every weekend on SiriusXM Fight Nation Channel 156.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Kevin Gausman just about 10 minutes away from getting on the mound for his first start of the season. He won't go first, though. The Tampa Bay Rays will in this fourth game of 4 between Toronto and Tampa Bay. Appreciate you joining us today once again. It's the Blue Jays and Rays as Toronto looks to even up the series. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. And Chris, we didn't know if Kevin Gausman would make a start in the first turn. What kind of boost do you think this is to the Blue Jays to have their ace back in, even if it is on a limited pitch count?
Well, against Pittsburgh in his last start in spring training, he only threw 52 pitches, so we can't expect him to throw 100 pitches like we're used to. Kevin Gausman routinely throws 100-plus pitches. That won't happen today. He'll probably throw somewhere around 70, 75-ish, so expect to see either Mitch White, Wes Parsons, and if the game is close, you probably won't see either of those guys, if I'm just being honest. But Kevin Gausman looked great in his last start. There was a lot of life on his fastball, 94, 95 miles an hour, and that split finger looked very, very good. So I expect Kevin Gausman to look like old Kevin Gausman. He just won't be pitching into the 7th, 8th inning like we're used to.
Well, I'm paraphrasing, but John Schneider said we might not do something like this with a younger guy, but Gausman has been around there. And Gausman himself, after his sim game when he first started going again at spring, said, well, I have more innings than anyone in that clubhouse. So that's why I'm able to do some of the stuff that I am able to do, paraphrasing for him, a guy with over 1,500 innings in his career. He'll be on the mound today. To get a little bit more info on the pitching situation, let's go back to baseball control. Here's Show Ali.
Thank you very much, Ben. Happy Easter, everyone. Hope your long weekend continues to be a good one. As we await first pitch, 1:40 Eastern, 10:40 a.m. Pacific, Kevin Gausman, the man, as Ben and Chris talking about, delivering that first pitch for the Jays in the bottom of the first. A lot of eyes will be on him, and a lot of eyes from the media as well, asking pitching coach Pete Walker, who spoke to the media today, and of course, here he is discussing what to expect from Gausman.
Obviously, we got to watch Goss his first couple of times out here. Didn't get the same ramp up as everybody else, but I think his last outing was 52 pitches. I don't want to give an exact pitch count, but we'll be smart with him. We obviously want him for the long haul this year. Want to make 32 plus starts. So it's great that he's with us right now. He finished up the spring really strong. Feels great. So we're anticipating him pitching well today, and we got a few guys ready to go in the bullpen to follow.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but
Robbie Ray have a similar kind of build-up like this, where the late spring kind of built him up in season?
It's happened before with starters. Obviously, the biggest decision comes down to, how they're bouncing back at the end of spring. If they do have a shortened spring training for some reason, whether it's a lingering issue or some kind of ailment that comes up. But it's definitely happened before in my time here, and you just got to kind of be smart at the end of spring training. Talk to the individual, talk to the pitcher, talk to the medical staff. Make sure they're bouncing back well. Obviously, Goss in his last outing, he showed velocity. He bounced back great after the outing. Feels great going into this one, so we feel really good about him physically.
That's Blue Jays pitching coach Pete Walker speaking to the media a couple of hours ago about Kevin Gausman, who will be the starter for today's Blue Jays and Rays game. I would imagine, as Chris said, you maybe expect to see some long men, perhaps even Mitch White, who has not yet pitched this year. So lots to keep an eye on when it comes to the first start of the season from the Ace. Before we get started, let's check out the Bet365 standings update. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus. Play responsibly. Ontario only. Let's check out the AL East. The Yankees off to a 3-0 start to the year. The Orioles 2-0 themselves. The Rays, as we know, are 2-1 in this series. Red Sox lost to the Mariners. They are 1-2, and as we know as well, the Jays also 1-2 after 3 games, looking for a series split. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk today. Julia Kreutz is here in studio with me at Baseball Control. She'll be alongside for the post-game show. We'll take your calls, take your texts as well, get to all of your post-game comments, and Blair Barker will be back for the Houston series tomorrow night. All right, let's get you over to the game. Ben Shulman and Chris LaRue with the call of Blue Jays at Rays at the Trop.
Thank you very much, Joe. Here's the Blue Jays lineup for the 4th game of this series. George Springer, designated hitter today, leads off for Toronto. The first baseman is Vladimir Guerrero Jr., hitting second. Batting third, and some lineup switches we'll get into in this first inning, is Justin Turner, the third baseman. Dalton Varsho hits cleanup playing center field. Alejandro Kirk, the catcher, hits fifth. Ernie Clement is the shortstop today, batting sixth. Davis Schneider makes his first start and first appearance of the year as the left fielder, batting seventh. Kevin Biggio plays right field, hitting eighth. And then Isaiah Kiner-Falefa bats ninth and plays second base with Kevin Gausman on the mound. Chris, who do we got on the other side for Tampa Bay?
Well, for Kevin Cash's Rays, leading off and playing first base is Yandy Diaz. He's 5 for 12 with a homer and 5 RBIs in the first 3 games of the season. Brandon Lau is batting second. He'll play second base. He had that big grand slam off of Chris Bassett. Batting third and playing left field is Randy Arozarena. Hitting fourth is Harold Ramirez. He'll DH. Playing third, hitting fifth, Isak Paredes. In right field, batting sixth, Ahmed Rosario. In center field is Jose Siri. He'll bat seventh. And catching, Ben Rortvedt. He's 2 for 3 on the season. Kind of surprising. And batting ninth is Jose Caballero, playing shortstop.
Sean Armstrong is the starter today for the Rays, but more categorized as an opener by the Rays staff. They will have Armstrong pitch maybe first time through the order and then give the bulk of the game to left-hander Tyler Alexander, who they acquired in the offseason from Detroit. This won't be the first time that the Blue Jays see Armstrong. They saw him in Game 1 and actually scored a pair of runs off of him in the 7th inning of the first game of the series. That was on a Bo Bichette double. Bo was supposed to start today, but will not. Bichette being scratched from the lineup late with neck spasms was the listed injury or ailment for Bichette. So instead of him hitting third, he's out of the lineup. Everyone from 3 to 5 has been moved up a spot. Turner was at 4, Varsho was at 5, Kirk was at 6. Ernie Clement has come in to hit 6th. George Springer in the box, ready to lead off for the Blue Jays. Armstrong, the right-hander, twists and delivers, and Springer hits a ground ball through the hole on the right side of base hit. First pitch today at 1:40, and George Springer doesn't waste a minute here getting aboard for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, he saw that big hole in between first and second, and that fastball was on the outside part of the plate, and he just stuck the bat out and knocked it into right field.
Blue Jays needed that. They were 1 for 10 in the first inning the last 3 games. Only a Guerrero hit in Game 2. They'd like to at least cost the starting pitcher or the opener a couple more pitches than usual. Here's the first pitch to Guerrero. Called strike 1. The first inning today is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Bring nature to your backyard with Armstrong, feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Here's the 0-1. Low, 1-1. This is a matchup to watch. Armstrong and Guerrero have faced off for 11 at-bats against each other. Vladdy is 8 for 11, a double and 3 RBIs against the right-hander in his career. The 1-1. Foul tipped into the glove, 1-2.
And that's the pitch right there that you want to see Vlad lay off of. A good fastball down and away. He can't really do much with that. That ball was even off the plate. So Vlad, well, now he has 2 strikes, so he has to protect. But normally when you have 1 strike like that, you're still waiting for your pitch. That pitch right there wasn't his pitch.
Here's the next offering. It's down and away. He does lay off that cutter slider to make it 2-2. Springer with a leadoff first. That right side that he bounced a ball through still wide open right now for Guerrero, with the infield shifting to the pull side. The 2-2. Vladdy fouls it back. That was a fastball over the plate. He could have done some damage with that pitch.
Yeah, that's the fastball right there that you don't want to throw as a pitcher, especially to Vlad, especially this matchup. 8 for 11. Vlad definitely wants that pitch back.
Guerrero with 1 homer this year, coming off a 26-homer season. The 2-2 again. Down and away. He took the fastball that time. Maybe a little bit of a Soto shuffle after that as well. Guerrero has a full count. Justin Turner on deck. Springer on first. The 3-2. Springer leaves, and the pitch is down and away. Check swing, appeal over to first. And they'll say Guerrero didn't go around. So Springer, they never made a call on his stolen base attempt at first because it's a walk for Guerrero. And first and second for the Blue Jays.
Well, I thought Springer got his hand in there at second base anyways. I also thought Vlad went around on that call.
I did too.
That is a surprising walk for Vlad. And we see on the replay, borderline.
Yeah,
that was a
close.
Borderline call.
It's close. Home plate umpire today is Derek Thomas. First pitch high and tight to Turner, 1-0. Todd Tishner is the umpire at first, who said no swing for Guerrero. Corey Blazer at second, Manny Gonzalez at third. First and second for the Blue Jays, nobody out top of the first. Here's the pitch. It's low ball 2. Post game yesterday, John Schneider said the Rays can pitch. It's tough to string hits together against them, but that they hit some balls that turned into double plays that really killed their rallies. Blue Jays looking to avoid that here. The 2-0. Turner lines a ball to left. That's down for a base hit. Springer around third. He's getting the wave. The throw to the plate cut off. It's 1-0 Toronto. First RBI is a Blue Jay for Justin Turner.
And this is huge, especially for Kevin Gausman, to be able to jump out to this 1-0 lead, potentially more, and give him a little bit of confidence to be able to go out there and do his thing. Justin Turner with a good swing, an elevated fastball. He lines that ball into left field. It's a good sign.
He seems to love it up there. Those high fastballs, high sliders even breaking a little bit away from him.
Yeah, I don't know what the numbers are, but when you see him doing well, it's almost always on that elevated fastball.
And already a mound visit here for Kyle Snyder to Sean Armstrong. This is what the Blue Jays have wanted to do that they haven't done so far in this series. They've averaged only 12 pitches seen in the first inning the last 3 games. Armstrong's thrown 11 today. He doesn't have an out yet, and there's 2 runners on.
Well, you can tell there's a different vibe today. Everybody seems energized. Maybe it's because Kevin Gausman's on the mound. I don't know.
Here's Dalton Varsho, the first left-handed hitter Armstrong faces, and the first pitch is fouled off. 0-1. 1-0 Blue Jays. First and second, no outs, top of the first. Varsho went 1 for 3 yesterday. Had a single, a walk, and a run scored. The 0-1. Fouled back into the glove. That was a fastball right down the middle. It's 0-2. Varsho drove in 61 runs a year ago. The 0-2. Fouled back again.
Yeah, tough pitch. That's the pitch right there that Varsho needs to lay off of. Obviously, with 2 strikes, you have to fight to stay alive. But early on in counts, that 93-mile-an-hour fastball up at the hands, he has a tough time with that. Actually, any hitter has a tough time with that.
2-strike pitch again. Takes the one inside. That was just off the plate. That's a gamble of a take, and Varsho has it pay off for ball 1.
That was a very good take. Questionable, though, but it was a good take.
I mean, it was a ball, but on 2 strikes, that's close. That was the cutter from Armstrong. He goes sinker, cutter most of the time. The 1-2. Inside, and it hits off the glove of the catcher and rolls up the third baseline. Guerrero and Turner advance. It's second and third now for the Blue Jays with nobody out on that passed ball.
And that almost looked like a cross-up. It looked like Rortvedt was expecting that 90-mile-an-hour cutter, and Armstrong decided to throw the 94-mile-an-hour sinker. Yeah, looking at that replay, that was definitely a cross-up. It hits Rortvedt kind of in the wrist and ricochets off towards the Blue Jays dugout.
Well, the Rays traded for Rortvedt on Wednesday. He made the team and debuted with them on Thursday. The 2-2, swing and a miss by Varsho. He goes down for the first out. It's not an easy position that Ben Rortvedt has been put into. Brian Servin, who made the Blue Jays at least unexpectedly at the start of camp, had all of camp to learn all of the pitchers. Rortvedt literally had 24 hours.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't realize how difficult it is to just catch somebody without knowing exactly how they throw, the way their pitches move. But that seemed like a cross-up to me, though.
First pitch to Kirk, swing and a miss, strike 1. 1-0 Blue Jays. They'd like to add on, though. Second and third. 1 out, and the infield playing back right now for the Rays, so a ground ball could easily score Vladimir Guerrero Jr. from third. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
Yeah, you're right. The infield's back, so all you have to do is put the bat on the ball, ground ball to second base. Vlad scores from third.
Kirk had the lowest whiff rate in Major League Baseball last year, but he swung and missed twice so far in this at-bat. Here's the 0-2. High he takes for ball 1. The only guy I think Vladdy's, well, you hit one to third, it gets interesting sometimes depending on how you hit it.
But middle of the field.
First baseman Yandy Diaz is actually kind of playing it. He's even with the bag. Guerrero with a solid lead. The 1-2 outside, 2-2. Kirk wouldn't chase after that slider. Turner with a big lead off second base as well. The pitch from Armstrong is hit on the ground up the middle into center field. It's off the glove of the second baseman Lau. He'll pick it up in shallow center, so Turner stops at third, but Guerrero scores on Kirk's RBI single. It's 2-0 Blue Jays.
If Lau doesn't make that insane play up the middle to knock that ball down, that's certainly 2 runs. Justin Turner had to stop at third base, but still only 1 out. Blue Jays are in good shape here.
You're right. That was a heck of a play. He dove onto the outfield turf just to knock that down. And now he puts pressure on the contact-heavy Ernie Clement. 2 for 4 yesterday in his first start of the season. Back in today, and instead of playing third, he's playing short. First pitch. Strike 1. 3 hits in the inning for the Blue Jays already. A walk and 2 runs in. It's 2-0 Toronto with runners on the corners and 1 out. The 1-strike pitch. Clement hits a fly ball foul, 0-2. Ernie only had 50 at-bats with the Blue Jays last year, but he hit 380 in that stretch. And with runners in scoring position, he was 10 for 15, knocked in 9 runs in 15 at-bats last year. The 0-2. Clement fouls it back.
And he's an incredible contact hitter. He's the guy that you want up in a situation like this. Infield playing back. Obviously, Alejandro Kirk is on first base, but for him to come up in a situation like this, he just needs to put the bat on the ball and not hit into a double play. He's the guy that I want up right now.
0-2. Clement bounces it up the middle. It's picked up right near the bag by Caballero, who stomps on it and throws over to first for a 6-3 double play. Clement does roll into that double play, but the Blue Jays still score 2 runs on 4 hits. They leave 1 on and lead 2-0 middle of the first. Kevin Gausman comes out when we return. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Everyone dreams of owning their own personal slice of heaven. Now you can, thanks to Fixed Rate Pizza by Pizza Pizza. Until the end of 2024, lock into an extra-large 4-topping pizza at a fixed price of $17.99. No matter how bad food prices get this year, your pizza price stays. So why not say no to surge pricing and yes to Fixed Rate Pizza? Order now from Pizza Pizza.
Order pizzapizza.ca. At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com. At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting, because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
I put my heart on my lips. I gave it all I could give.
This is Kevin Biggio, and you're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Kevin Gausman on the mound for the Blue Jays. 2-0 Toronto. The right-hander about to start his 12th Major League season delivers to Yandy Diaz, who fouls off a fastball 0-1. Gausman coming off a year in which he went 12-9, 3.16 ERA, led the American League with 237 strikeouts, and was a Cy Young finalist. His 0-1 is another fastball delivered low this time, 1 ball, 1 strike. There are few pitchers who put up the numbers, really in Blue Jays history, that Kevin Gausman put together between strikeouts and ERA last year. The 1-1. Another fastball for strike 2. What do you think about Gausman really establishing the fastball so far?
Well, he's attacking the zone, and we didn't see that from Chris Bassett. We didn't really see it from Yusei Kikuchi, but we saw it from Jose Barrios, and Jose Barrios threw really well on opening night.
Splitter for the first time, fouled off by Diaz. It's a fastball, a splitter, a breaking ball for Kevin Gausman, and then he does sneak a changeup in there every once in a while, but its movement is so similar to the splitter and velocity is so similar, it's hard to spot. The 1-2 is a splitter bounced, 2-2. But there is a difference. That's why he throws it, because it's just slightly different than his splitter. He's got a tough task dealing with the AL batting champion in Yandy Diaz. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with a fastball at 96. 1 down.
And man, that was impressive. 96 on the black. When you get Yandy Diaz to take an uncompetitive swing like that, kind of just flailing at it, that's when you know he was either expecting something else or your fastball has a lot of life. And I'm going to go with the latter on that one.
Gausman's a guy who sits around 94, maybe 95, but he can reach 97, 98 when he wants to. His first pitch to Brandon Lau, fouled back, 0-1. Lau batting from the left side. He's one of 2 left-handed hitters today.
And I tell you what, just looking at his stuff, his confidence, his demeanor, he doesn't look like a guy that was hurt during spring training, and that's a good sign.
Bassett only made 1 spring start. The 0-1 is high, 1-1. Pretty much one of the first times that he threw, at least from when the media were down there, he came up with shoulder fatigue and was sidelined really until the last week or so when he started to get into some sim games. The 1-1 is high and outside, 2-1. Joe and Julia talked about it on our pregame show. He has an incredible 7 strikeout performance in 3+ innings against the Pirates at Bradenton, and then gets the green light here, the 2-1. Hit hard and caught at second on a line by Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. 2 down.
And I think that was the changeup there that he threw. I could see it in his glove, the way he was holding it. And you're right, there's a slight difference, and the biggest difference is the velocity. The splitter is around 88, 89, but that changeup really slows down. That last changeup was 85 miles an hour. And you could tell Lau hit it off the end of his bat.
Yeah, it just throws guys off a little bit, and it's really hard, I think, for them to pick up. The pitch to Randy Arozarena. There's his breaking ball, and it misses down and away, 1-0. So he's showing the full complement right now with 2 outs and the bases empty. Bottom of the first. 2-0 Blue Jays, by the way.
Him and Chris Bassett had a conversation before the game. He's throwing the kitchen sink at him.
1-0 is a second breaking ball in a row. He doesn't throw it all that often, but I believe that was the breaking ball again to make it 2-0. Arozarena off to a strong start. 364 hitter in 3 games. Gausman misses there to make it 3 balls and no strikes.
And that was actually another changeup, throwing a 2-0 changeup. Must have a lot of confidence in it.
Gausman into the set. Will he go back to the fastball here on the 3-0? He does, and it's called strike 1. Randy started walking toward first. That could not have been more of a center cut fastball than it was. Arozarena was taken all the way, though. He's had some troubles with Gausman in his career. The 3-1. Smoke to right center field. Biggio going back. That ball is gone. A solo home run for Randy Arozarena, and the Tampa Bay deficit is cut in half. It's now 2-1 Toronto.
And now I know why he threw that 2-0 changeup to Arozarena. That was a fastball at 95, middle. And of course, in a 3-1 count, Arozarena knows exactly what's coming, and he did not miss that fastball.
Randy was previously 1 for 9 with 5 strikeouts against Kevin Gausman, but he hits his second home run of the series, both of them going out to the opposite field. And that's big for Tampa Bay after Toronto came out firing in the top of the first. Harold Ramirez is the next batter for the Rays, a right-handed hitter who takes the first pitch for strike 1. It's an interesting defensive alignment for the Blue Jays today. Alejandro Kirk behind the plate with Vladdy at first and IKF at second. The pitch to the DH Ramirez. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Ernie Clements, the shortstop. Justin Turner gets his first start at third this season. Davis Schneider, his first start overall, is in left. Dalton Varsho in center. Kevin Biggio in right. 0-2 pitch. Ramirez takes it low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Bases empty and 2 down in the back half of the first. The right-hander Gausman tapping his toe, delivers home, and it's swung on and missed. Strike 3, a foul tip into the glove on a high heater. Gausman finishes the inning as he started it with a swinging strikeout. Randy Arozarena, though, with a solo home run, makes this game a little bit closer. Going to the second, it's 2-1 Toronto. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Baseball is back, and you can hear every MLB game on SiriusXM.
This team never stops.
Hear your hometown announcers on the all-new SiriusXM app.
They celebrate at home plate.
And talk baseball every day with our team of former players and executives on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89.
There's just something about opening day of the Major League Baseball season.
Get closer to the action on SiriusXM and the all-new SiriusXM app.
This is CJ Nikowski. Join me, Ryan Spilborghs, and Brad Lidge every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern as we give you the player's perspective of what's happening in baseball.
He is possessed every time he goes out there right now. This is crazy.
There's this energy that certain players bring
It's Loud Outs every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM, Channel 89, and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy basketball to getting you ready for the NFL Draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
How you manage your team day in and day out will be the difference in where you finish in 2024.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Hey, baseball fans, the best 24/7 Hoops Talk lives on NBA Radio as we get you ready for the stretch run of the season, only on Channel 86 and on the brand new Sirius XM app.
Network.
It's the second inning presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and you can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19+, play responsibly, Ontario only. The true bulk guy is in now. Left-hander Tyler Alexander takes over and delivers the first pitch high to Davis Schneider, 1-0. Top of the second inning, 2-1 Blue Jays over Rays. The opener, Sean Armstrong, is out, and the mustached left-hander Alexander is in. The 1-0. Schneider hits a rocket to right center field, and it's sinking into the glove of the right fielder Rosario, one down. Didn't actually make as good a contact as it sounded like initially. Kind of looped that ball out to right.
Well, it was a changeup, and he hit it off the end of the bat. It was an 82-mile-an-hour changeup. If that was a fastball, that ball's being driven into the gap, but that just shows the effect of a changeup.
So Schneider retired. He's the first batter that the 29-year-old Alexander will see, acquired from Detroit this offseason. First pitch to the left-handed hitting Kevin Biggio, strike one. 2-1 Toronto, one out, bases empty, top of the second. Alexander, a second-round pick in 2015 by the Tigers. His 0-1. Inside, even count. They're expecting to expand the innings for Alexander, considering last year he just threw 44. The 1-1. Bald strike with a sweeping breaking ball. It's 1-2. But the 2 years before that, he was kind of a swingman back and forth for Detroit, starter and bullpen guy, and he threw over 100 innings in 2022 and 2021. His 1-2 to Biggio. Fouled off. He's got a cutter, four-seamer, changeup, sinker, and a slider. We'll use all of them. Southpaw rocks back in, delivers. And again, it's fouled off by Kevin Biggio.
Yeah, he doesn't really have prototypical reliever stuff. 89 to 91 fastball. I would say lengthen him out and see what he can do as a starter. 32 starts between 21 and 22.
His 1-2. Foul tipped into the glove, strike three. That was the slider there, which he didn't use a ton as a reliever, but has thrown a few times already this inning. And he's got two quick outs here, bringing up Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Mentioned last inning that the lineup switched late with Bo Bichette being taken out of the game. A couple guys moving up. Ernie Clement coming in. First pitch to IKF. Inside, 1-0. When they updated that lineup, it changed from Biggio 9, IKF 8 to IKF 9 and Biggio 8. Truthfully, I don't know why.
I saw that as well. I was like, why did they do that?
The 1-0. Outside, 2-0. Base is empty, two down, 2-1 Blue Jays, top of the second. The pitch. Called strike one. Cutter at the top of the zone.
And I'm actually not surprised that there was something going on with Bo Bichette. We saw in the last couple of days, he didn't look right. He looked slower. He took a lot of swings last night. He was 0 for 4, but he took a lot of swings that were
2-1 is hit back foul, 2-2.
That weren't really competitive. He hit the ball, kind of lazy fly balls. You rarely see that from Bo.
And hopefully it's just, precautionary thing. They have an off day coming up tomorrow. Then they go to Houston. Or pardon me, they don't have an off day. They'll go to Houston tomorrow, 3 games there. Then they have an off day. The 2-2. Hit hard by IKF and down in left center field for a base hit. Siri jogging over will pick it up and toss it back to second. But Isaiah Kiner-Falefa's got a base hit with 2 down, and he'll flip the lineup back over for George Springer.
And that's a good sign for this Blue Jays team. There's been a lot of questions whether IKF can start, whether he can produce like the Blue Jays need. And I think that if he can just do that every once in a while, the Blue Jays will be fine.
It's a guy with some good speed, too. We'll see what he does here on the base paths for the second time as a Blue Jay. First, the pitch to George Springer. Popped up, right side foul territory. Diaz over near the screen. It's into the seats. Nice catch by a fan back over the row behind him. 0-1.
Nothing like an older man stealing a fly ball from a kid. Gotta love it.
Oh, he didn't hand it back. I thought he was just, you want to make the highlight reel play, go make the highlight reel play. But I thought he would flip it back. IKF taking a big lead here on the 0-1. The lefty Alexander staring at him. Now looks to the plate and delivers. Inside, 1-1. I know you played in games, but did you ever catch a foul ball at a game you've been to?
No, I'm actually afraid of fly balls when I'm at a game. Yeah.
The 1-1. Down and away, 2-1.
I've been at so many games as a player as a fan. I've just seen people get hit by this is before all the netting around the foul territory, and I've seen people get hit, and the ambulance had to come to get them. So I usually stay away from foul balls whenever they come near me.
Next pitch to Springer's inside, 3-1. Well, not in a serious way, but I've been hit. I haven't not caught a foul ball because of a lack of trying like you. I went to a game at the Rogers Center when I was a kid, and it hit the front facing of the deck above me, so it went over my head. I turned around to see where it landed. It had ricocheted, come back, nailed me in the stomach.
Oh, no.
The 3-1 to Springer. Called low, ball 4, a borderline pitch, but George will take a walk here, and it's first and second with 2 down for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
I thought you were going to tell me that you caught it.
No. I've been
super athlete.
I've been hit both at a baseball game and at a hockey game. That one actually did require the hospital because a hockey puck does some serious damage to you. But no, I have never caught one. I don't bring a glove, though, I will say, to games. That's not really...
You're too cool for that?
No, I just get like a sweaty hand. Here's the pitch to Guerrero. Down and away, ball 1. And it's one thing, I think, to drop a ball without a glove. But if you bring a glove, I think there's a lot of pressure to catch a ball.
Yeah.
I don't want that pressure. I don't have the skill to back it up. 2-1 Blue Jays, top of the second. 2 outs, 2 on. The 1-0 to Guerrero. Down and in. 2-0. Alexander all of a sudden has lost a little bit of control here with the walk to Springer and now 2 straight balls to Vladdy.
And I'm excited for this next pitch here. 2-0. Vladdy is locked in. You can see it in his eyes. He just knows exactly what he's doing up there. I can't wait for this pitch.
Kyle Snyder's not going to let them deliver this pitch without having a discussion with Tyler Alexander and Ben Rortvedt.
I would imagine it wouldn't be a fastball. If I were him, I'd throw something off speed. Although that off speed right down the middle, Vlad does some damage with as well.
And for Alexander, you question what he feels the most control with right now. He's thrown 10 balls and 10 strikes so far. And you don't want to walk Vlad because then you put up one of the best run producers of the last couple years in Justin Turner, and you don't have anywhere to put him. He knows he's going to get a strike, and Turner's already burned Tampa Bay today with an RBI single in the first.
Yeah, and he hit the ball hard last night as well, right at Arozarena. Almost similar to the one that he had in the first inning.
Turner doubled yesterday in the 9th inning and scored for his first Blue Jay hit and Blue Jay run, and today picked up his first Blue Jay RBI. Ben Rortvedt back behind the plate. Alexander, the lefty, kicks some dirt from in front of the rubber, stretches out his arms, and steps back on the mound. He's thrown 20 pitches already. There are runners on first and second, and 2 outs. 2-1 Blue Jays, top of the second. The 2-0 to Guerrero. Inside, ball 3. Went with the cutter. And now Vladdy's in a spot here where he can pick one location, one pitch if he wants, and make that the only thing he has to swing at.
Yeah, this is the one. He has the green light. The only thing I'd be worried about is him expanding and going after a pitch that isn't his.
3-ball pitch. He takes a breaking ball on the outside part of the plate for strike 1.
That was a good pitch. I'm glad that Vladdy didn't offer at it. It started out off the plate and ended up down the middle, but that's not Vlad's pitch.
Still pressure on Alexander here to be in the zone.
Here comes a changeup.
His 3-1. And he missed low. You could hear the scream there from Alexander, or the from Alexander as he walks back-to-back batters. There were 2 outs and nobody on. And after IKF's single, Springer and Guerrero have been patient, and now the bases are loaded for Justin Turner.
I don't think that's a bad walk for Alexander. Throwing a BP fastball down the middle is probably going to be a 3-run pitch. So walking him and moving on to the next batter is probably the best idea for Alexander.
He does have to face Turner, though. And there's going to be a pitch clock violation on Alexander before this plate appearance even starts. So after 2 walks, he'll start down 1-0 to Justin Turner with the bases loaded and 2 down. The first official pitch of the at-bat on the way. It's in there, strike 1.
And I bet Justin Turner wants that pitch back. It was a kind of a tough pitch, inner third, but if he got the head out, that's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball that he could have done some damage with.
It's not going to come much quicker than that out of the left hand of Alexander. His 1-1. Turner smokes it to left, but it's foul. He could not have been up more all over that middle in cutter, and Alexander probably catches a break. That Turner was too far in front of him.
Yeah, that was an 86-mile-an-hour cutter that didn't really cut that much. It was middle. Justin Turner definitely got the head out on that one a little bit too far.
Alexander ahead in the count though. His 1-2. Inside, ball 2. And Turner continues to work this AB. 96 driven in for Turner last year. That was a career high. Consistently a guy who's hit better than his career averages with runners in scoring position. The 2-2. Smoked again. This one into the screen a little bit shorter down the left field line. Still 2-2.
He's hitting a lot of line drives, whether they're fair, whether they're foul. He is seeing the ball really well right now.
Turner's a .311 hitter career with runners in scoring position. The 2-2. He fouls it back. Backswing got close to Ben Rortvedt there, but I don't think it hit him. And Turner will turn around, exposing the pine tar on his back as he adjusts his batting gloves before his pitch. Alexander's nearly up to 30 pitches in his first inning. The lefty's in the set. His 2-2 again. Turner hits a high drive to left. Rosarena going back. It's off the top of the wall. 1 run is in. Springer coming in to score. Guerrero stops at third. It's a 2-run double for Turner, and he was maybe 5 feet from a grand slam.
And like we said, he is hitting the ball hard right now. Foul, fair, it doesn't matter. Everything is on a line. That's why the Blue Jays brought him in. The Blue Jays struggled last year with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. And Justin Turner, like you said, is hitting .311 career with runners in scoring position. He is a run producer.
I thought that ball was out for a second.
Well, I'll take 2 runs right now.
Turner hit it off the fencing just above the wall. The pitch to Varsho. He goes to bunt and pops it up. Foul, 0-1. Second and third, 2 outs. 2 runs in this inning for the Blue Jays to make it 4-1. And Varsho does love to bunt when you essentially least expect him to do it. When the pitcher's thinking about the last batter, that's a lot of the time that he pulls it out.
And runners on second and third with 2 outs, that's probably not the time I would expect somebody to bunt. But
The 0-1 is waved at and missed. Strike 2. Well, more support here for Kevin Gausman, who didn't receive a lot of it last year. He will take 4 runs right now. 4-1 Blue Jays. 2 outs. 2 in scoring position. And the 2-strike pitch to Varsho is hit in the air to right. Lazy fly ball for Ahmed Rosario. Charging in. Makes the catch to his right and ends the inning. All with 2 outs, the Blue Jays scored 2 runs on 2 hits. It's Justin Turner's double that makes it 4-1 Toronto, middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. Visit timbermart.ca.
He doesn't throw fastballs, he throws fuego. He has the focus and agility of a Shaolin monk.
Gold glover Jose Barrios.
He's not just a pitcher, he's a machine. He defends the field and our city's honor.
He is one of the best defensively out on the mound.
Jose Barrios is as good as gold. Celebrate Jose's golden accomplishment with the Jose Barrios Gold Glove Bobblehead, Friday, April 12th. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Center. Visit timbermart.ca.
Hey, this is Danny Jansen. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the bottom of the second inning, and the Blue Jays are leading 4-1 at Tropicana Field. Kevin Gausman back on the bump. Isaac Paredes due up first with Ahmed Rosario and Jose Siri behind him. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. The right-hander Gausman pumping, now fires home and hits the zone for strike 1. Paredes breaking camp with the Rays for the second time in his career. Last year he did it for the first time and led them in home runs and RBIs with 31 and 98. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Paredes is going to ask for time. It's been a slow start for him, though, this year. He has 1 hit. It was the infield hit yesterday that really should have been a double, but Ernie Clement made a diving stop on the third baseline to keep it to just 1 base. Here's the 0-2. Inside, 1-2.
And that was a really good pitch. 96 in around the kneecaps, in off the plate. I'm assuming he won't double up in there, but probably go outside with a slider, or I would throw a split finger.
1-2 split, hit hard but foul.
That was actually that changeup again. He's fallen in love with that thing. Must have been working on it in the offseason.
Gausman with 3 strikes out of 4 pitches to start the inning. Looking for a third K of the day. 1-2. Missed outside with a fastball. Game 4 of 4 in this series. Blue Jays with a 4-1 lead, bottom of the second. Paredes is the leadoff hitter. Here's the 2-2. That one is hit high and deep to center. Varsho going back, stopping on the track. He makes the catch for a booming out number 1. Today is Super Sunday, and Jays Care is giving away cash prizes every half hour until 4:30 Eastern. Get your 50-50 tickets right now, and you'll be entered to win these early bird prizes, plus the mega jackpot. Each ticket sold will give kids in your community the opportunity to play baseball and be a part of a team. Visit BlueJays.com/5050 to get your tickets from Ontario or Nova Scotia. Prizes every 30 minutes. Here's the pitch to Ahmed Rosario. Low ball 1. Rosario's off to quite the start this season. 3 for his first 5. Knocked in the first run of yesterday's game. The next pitch is high. 2-0.
He's only making $1.5 million this year.
Yeah, they signed him on a 1-year, $1.5 million deal. Apparently, there were some larger offers. That's at least what some reports say, that he turned down. The 2-0, called strike, 2-1. Now, how much larger? Who knows? 1.5 is smaller than 1.55, but depending on the state you play in all the time, too, that may not change much. But the Rays have used him a ton so far. 2-1 fastball, called a strike. It's 2-2.
Gausman got some help on that fastball. That was about a half a ball outside. Good fastball on the outside corner, but Ahmed Rosario not happy about that, shaking his head.
The 2-2 pitch to Rosario. Grounded foul. I think that was the splitter, but he's thrown it a little bit softer maybe than usual.
I don't know. I like to look at that camera view that you can see into the pitcher's glove, and it looks like he's holding it like a circle change. I could be wrong, but
here's his 2-2 again. Swing and a miss. No, foul tip.
I'll have to take a closer look, but it could be a split, could be a change. I would love if the camera just zooms in on his glove.
2-2 once more. Inside with a heater, full count. I will say Gausman throws his splitter with a unique grip to other guys. I know Bowden Francis and Nate Pearson, when talking about learning their splitters this year, were looking much more to Eric Swanson. The 3-2. Check swing, tapper, foul. That was a breaking ball, I believe, and it's still 3-2. They were looking more to Swanson, not because they don't want to pitch with the effectiveness of Kevin Gausman's splitter. It's probably, if not the best in baseball, but they just weren't able to really replicate what he did. Swanson's was a little bit more attainable. Payoff pitch. Hit foul again. Rosario battling. That was the 8th pitch he's seen this at bat. Around 75 is where we're guessing Gausman will go to today. He's about to throw his 35th pitch. Here it comes. And it's a cue shot to second. Connor Falefa picks it up, throws over to first. 2 down.
Yeah, you're right. 35 pitches through an inning and 2/3 is not great for Kevin Gausman or the Blue Jays. Mitch White should probably start at least thinking about stretching at this point.
Some armbands, maybe.
Maybe jump on that bike next to the Blue Jays bullpen.
2 down, nobody on. 4-1 Blue Jays, bottom of the second. Jose Siri is up. Siri hitless in 6 at-bats against Gausman in his career. Swings and misses at the first pitch, strike 1. Jose Siri came up and my phone just got all crazy for a second there. The 0-1. Called strike at the knees, 0-2.
I'm surprised that's the first time that's happened this series.
Yeah. Gausman quickly ahead. 2 strikes on Siri, 2 outs, base is empty. Right-hander tucks the ball into his glove. Bouncing on that front left foot. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 3 pitches, all fastballs, and Siri leaves the bat behind him at the plate as he strikes out swinging. Kevin Gausman through 2 innings has the Blue Jays on top 4-1 at Tropicana Field. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Everyone dreams of owning their own personal slice of heaven. Now you can, thanks to Fixed Rate Pizza by Pizza Pizza. Until the end of 2024, lock into an extra-large 4-topping pizza at a fixed price of $17.99. No matter how bad food prices get this year, your pizza price stays. So why not say no to surge pricing and yes to fixed-rate pizza? Order now from Pizza Pizza.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Jose Barrios with a trio of strikeouts to end a scoreless 6.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The third inning is brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Lévis, Quebec and West Quebec City. Protect your vehicle from rust today. Find your local family-owned Crown at crown.com, Canada's #1 rust protection. 4-1 Blue Jays, top of the third inning in St. Petersburg, Florida. Alejandro Kirk has started off with a strike. Here's Tyler Alexander's second pitch. Inside, ball 1.
Ben, do you speak French?
I do not. Could
have fooled me.
I mean,
that accent,
I learned it in school, but no, I couldn't claim to speak French. Here's the 1-1. Kirk gets it off the handle, pops it up to short. Making the call in the middle of the infield. Caballero catches it for the first out. So up comes Ernie Clement. Grounded into a double play. His first time up. Looking to start the Blue Jays off in the third inning. They've scored 2 in the first and 2 in the second to have this 4-1 lead. They hadn't scored in the first or the second in any of the 3 previous games. Clement jacks the ball to left. Arozarena going back, and he makes the catch up against the wall. What a play from Randy Arozarena. Crashed into the fence, leaping at the last moment. Took extra bases away from Ernie Clement.
Wow. That was an incredible play from Arozarena. You could see Alexander shaking his head. Most left fielders, number 1, don't make that play, but number 2, they're afraid of the wall, and he went banging into the wall face first.
And that's a huge play. That could have been a double. If that bounces off the wall and gets away from Randy, maybe it's even a triple with the speed of Ernie. Instead, there are 2 down, and Davis Schneider takes a pitch that's called strike 1 to go to 0-1.
Arozarena didn't even take any time after that play. He went chest first, almost face first into that wall, and didn't take any time after that play.
Next pitch is called strike 2. He's an intense guy, and he lives for big moments. He was more of a playoff performer in 2020 for the Rays when they made the World Series than he was even a regular season performer for them that year. 0-2 pitch is high.
And he just looked up in the left field stands and gave the fans a thumbs up. So I'm sure those fans are worried about his health.
Well, they created a Randy World section last year. Don't know if it's still around. The 1-2. High, 2-2. You know, kind of like, what was it, King's Court for Felix Hernandez.
Aaron Judge.
Yeah, they all rise over there. 2-2 to Schneider. Off the end of the bat, foul. He's still alive.
Did they make anything for Schneider last year?
No, I think there was just like a general
mustache
mafia. But I kind of like that it was just scattered. Like you just see, it was completely normal in August last year for someone to be walking downtown in the middle of the day with a fake mustache on. If that doesn't make you like sports, I don't know what does. 2-2 to Schneider. Inside, ball 3. He probably should have a walk right now in a questionable strike 1, but he's still worked to full count anyway.
Well, the thing about mustaches now is they're back in.
So Austin Matthews has a mustache. Tyler Alexander, the pitcher, has a very Monopoly Man mustache. The 3-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Might have chased ball 4. First scoreless inning for Rays pitching comes in the third with Alexander's second strikeout of the game, capping off the top of the third inning. Middle of this third, it's 4-1 Blue Jays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
They are among the greatest to ever play their sports.
Caitlin Clark is the all-time scoring leader.
They are legends and icons.
Larry Bird hit the shot with 2 seconds left. I don't know how he did it.
And you can hear them right now on the all-new Sirius XM app.
We are here with Iowa superstar Caitlin Clark.
I'm so focused on winning. It's never anything I ever take for granted.
Here comes Larry Bird, the Hall of Famer, and he just won Legend of the Year.
Legend of the Year, isn't that something? For access to the game's greats, rely on the leader in sports audio. Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM. We're back on the track Sunday,
6 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Toyota Owners 400 from Richmond Raceway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the Sirius XM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game.
24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on Sirius XM NASCAR Radio, Channel 90.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. When home improvement projects are throwing you a curveball, talk to the folks at Timbermart before you begin your next job. They've got the material and know-how to make sure you have all your bases covered. Timbermart, Canada's Building Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. First pitch of the bottom of the third is hooked to first on the ground by Ben Rortvedt. The catcher retired by Vladdy, who picks it up and steps on the bag. 1 down.
So Gossman's probably got about 2 innings left. If he has 2 quick innings, maybe 3.
If he keeps doing that, I mean, 1 pitch, 1 out.
I don't want to push it. Let's say 2 innings.
He had 38 pitches through 2, so we were doing the math during the break. That's 76 pitches through 4. That would be, 76 would be a cutoff point more than likely for him. Pitch to Jose Caballero, called strike 1. But if he can sneak in an 8-pitch inning somewhere, maybe this one where he just retired the 8-hitter, has the 9-hitter now, and then gets Yandy Diaz, that would be helpful. The 0-1 fouled back, 0-2.
Well, he's at 3 now with 1 out. Let's go.
So he's on pace for a 9-pitch inning. Here's his 0-2. Caballero slaps that ball to right field. It's down for a base hit. He'll round first, head back to the bag. He's another guy off to a pretty strong start this year. Brought over mostly defensively, but he had 2 hits yesterday and had a hit and a hit by pitch the day before that. So he's been on a lot.
Yeah, that was just a mistake from Kevin Gossman. Fastball. Not middle, but pretty close to it, and Caballero just smacks it the other way.
He kind of middle down, like right in the middle of the bottom part of the zone, and now Yandy Diaz is up with a runner on. Gossman struck him out to start this outing, and the first pitch he sees is called strike 1. Looks like a wide outside part of the strike zone against right-handed hitters for the second day in a row.
Yeah, as long as the umpire is consistently bad, that's all you can ask for. Just be consistent.
The 0-1. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike. 4-1 Blue Jays, 1 out, bottom of the third inning. Diaz in his 6th season with the Rays. The 1-1 is grounded, foul. The runner was taken off, but he'll have to go back to the bag after that splitter was pounded into the ground.
Caballero sliding headfirst into second base.
He didn't see it.
That's why you always peek in about halfway between the bases. You always peek in to see if you're going to have to slide head first or stand up or just come back.
Vladdy kind of half holding him on, playing a step or two off the line. The 1-2 pitch, he leaves again. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Kirk dropped it on the transfer, so Caballero steals the base. But Diaz strikes out for the second time today, and there are 2 down.
I'll gladly take that. The strikeout of Yandy Diaz and a stolen base for Caballero. Kevin Gausman clearly wasn't worried about holding the runner on there. He took a full leg kick to try to make that pitch effective, and he did. He really reared back for that 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
So Gausman with 2 outs now recorded in this inning. Still has to retire left-handed hitting Brandon Lau, who he gets to wave at a splitter down and away, 0-1. 47 pitches now for Gausman. Runner on second, 2 outs, 4-1 Blue Jays, bottom of the third. The right-hander's pitch. Swing and a miss at another splitter, 0-2.
And I wouldn't be surprised if I see a fastball up around the neck here. That would be probably the most effective pitch. Brandon Lau seeing 2 changeups or splits in a row.
Lau asking for time. Would that be away or inside, you think?
Oh, I would go middle. Middle with that
high.
pitch. Middle around the neck high. Because you want it to look like a strike. You don't want it to be off or too far in.
The 0-2. He went back to the off speed and strikes out low on a foul tip to end the inning. 5 Ks for Gausman through 3, and the pitch count's still under 50 at least as we head to the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball 4-1 Toronto, and it's brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NBA playoffs are right around the corner, and you can hear the best matchups and wall-to-wall coverage on NBA Radio Channel 86.
Driving through the rim, got there, lays it up and in!
We're getting you ready for the postseason with our experts all day, every day.
This is what playoff basketball is, man. This ain't about pretty stuff.
Defensively, they have 0 weaknesses.
The NBA postseason starts April 16th, and your home for all the action is NBA Radio Channel 86 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy basketball to getting you ready for the NFL Draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
How you manage your team day in and day out will be the difference in where you finish in 2024.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Feel the passion of Major League Soccer all season long on SiriusXM FC.
Stupendously magnificent!
Every week, hear all the top matches, including every Inter-Miami game.
Messi, up, over,
and get analysis and insight from our team of experts like former MVP Tony Meola.
He looks so confident. It's starting to look so easy.
It's Major League Soccer's biggest season ever, and you can experience it on SiriusXM FC 157 and streaming on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
It's the 4th inning presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet live in-game on game props, totals, and the money line. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary to bet at Bet365. 19+, play responsibly. Ontario only. Top of the 4th starts with Kevin Biggio flying a ball out to center field. He's retired by Tyler Alexander, and there's 1 down. 4-1 for the Blue Jays over the Rays in St. Petersburg. We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Devilishly good since Toronto first raised the trophy in '92. Join them for wings, ribs, beer, cocktails, and catch every plate. Your local St. Louis Bar and Grill. Download the app or visit stlouiswings.com. For more details, always devilishly good. Pitch to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is called strike 1 with 1 down and nobody on. I'm taking a look right now at Camden Yards, where after just destroying the Angels the first 2 days of the season, the Orioles are trailing finally for Really the first time past the first inning of the year. The 0-1 is sprayed to the right side. It's down for a base hit for Kiner Falefa. 2 for 2 day for IKF.
IKF, 2 for 2. I'm telling you, this guy will sneak up on you. If he can just make contact, 10-ish, maybe 12 home runs, he'll be an impactful bat in this lineup.
He's done a good job today of setting the plate for the top of the order. Got on with a single in the 8th. The Blue Jays went on to score 2 runs that inning. Here he's on again. Puts his sliding glove on his right hand, and now the pitch to George Springer. Springer hits a ground ball softly to third. Charging in Paredes. Has it. Throws over to second for 1. Back to first. Not in time. Fielder's choice, and the inning continues. Which gives us a chance to look at that St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard, where Taylor Ward hit a 2-run homer in the first inning off of Tyler Wells. And then in throwing error by James McCann caused another run. Zach Neto hit a single to score a run. It ended up being a 4-0 lead that Gunnar Henderson has shaved down with an RBI walk. So it's 4-1 for the Angels. Bottom of the 4th, Orioles batting on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard. Rays were at least thinking about that close play at first, but it looks like they'll hold off. Springer is called safe. Here's Vladdy. The pitch. Inside, ball 1.
And the powerhouse Pittsburgh Pirates are losing to the Miami Marlins. I don't know if you saw that.
Both former
That's why I'm watching
Chris
that game.
LaRue teams. And the Pirates 3-0 on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard. The 1-0 is bounced. And Springer's going to stay there at first base. Rortvedt scrambled to get it. It's 2-0 count to Vladdy. Speaking of teams that are 3-0, how about the Yankees being 3-0? And really more, how about the Astros being 0-3? They've blown 2 leads to the Yankees so far and trailed today 1-0 at the end of 2. 2-0 to Guerrero. Called strike at the top of the zone. The Astros hadn't even started 0-2 since 2011. They're 0-3. And Jose Trevino's single to first, an infield single to the first baseman, is the reason that the Yankees are on top today. 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Guerrero, 2-2.
Guerrero takes a huge hack at that 2-1 or 2-1 slider from Alexander. That's the kind of swing I love to see.
It's left over the heart of the plate. Could have easily been taken out of the yard. 2 outs. Springer leading off first. The 2-2 to Guerrero. Called strike 3. Fastball on the inside edge, and Vladdy goes down to end the inning. The 1 Blue Jays hit is left on base. Our out-of-town score is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Middle of the 4th, the score in St. Petersburg, 4-1 Blue Jays over the Rays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Everyone dreams of owning their own personal slice of heaven. Now you can, thanks to Fixed Rate Pizza by Pizza Pizza. Until the end of 2024, lock into an extra-large 4-topping pizza at a fixed price of $17.99. No matter how bad food prices get this year, your pizza price stays. So why not say no to surge pricing and yes to fixed-rate pizza? Order now from Pizza Pizza.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
At Bet365, we don't do ordinary. That's why we introduced in-game betting. Because when the game starts, the action doesn't stop. With in-game betting, you can wager on game props, player props, totals, and the money line. And remember, in-game, you can track your same-day parlay with the option to cash out. Check out in-game betting and find out why. It's never ordinary at Bet365.
Must be 19 years or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connexontario.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Vladdy rocks the ball to left field. The Blue Jays have gone back-to-back.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. 4-1 Blue Jays, bottom of the fourth. Randy Arozarena up for the Rays against Kevin Gausman. First pitch is inside, 1-0. Arozarena has been a bright spot for the Rays today. He has a solo home run for Tampa Bay's only run and made that leaping catch up into the wall in the third inning as the next pitch is in there for strike one. That catch took what was likely extra bases away from Ernie Clement.
Yeah, without Arozarena in this ball game, it's a completely different game.
Next pitch is bounced, 2-1.
And again, Gausman falls behind Arozarena. Last time he did that, Arozarena hit that homer to right.
Arozarena hit a 3-1 pitch out to right in the first inning. It's 2-1 right now, and the offering is grounded foul, 2-2. Good bounce back there from Gausman to even up the count.
Yeah, good pitch there. Obviously a fastball count, 2-1, and he comes with that 85-mile-an-hour splitter. Arozarena just makes contact with it and fouls it off to the third base side.
Gausman's pitch. Hit hard on the ground at the shortstop, Clement, who vacuums it up on one knee, gets up, throws to first. One down.
Ben, do you like Clement over there at shortstop?
I do. I mean, it's my very baseball professional opinion because I've never coached, but he looked very confident there in the games that I saw him in spring. And I watched a handful of Bison's games when all the guys came up last year and were making an impact, and he seemed to be pretty comfortable over there too. I know that at least one of the Blue Jays coaches had told us that he really liked Clement at short too. And just general defensively as Harold Ramirez takes strike one with one out.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head. You said he vacuumed it up. He looked very confident. That ball was scorched to shortstop.
And we saw what he did at third yesterday with the diving stop. 0-1 is bounced, 1-1. Not to mention the play he made from beyond the foul line, back of third, when he threw from all the way in foul territory over to first to get an out for the Blue Jays in, I believe, the sixth inning. The 1-1. Hit hard to center field. It hangs up, though, and Varsho will make the catch off to his left. There are two down. Gausman had 56 pitches here with the bases empty and 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth, so maybe he is starting to look to extend his day a little bit.
Well, his last game he threw 52 pitches. Generally, you want to add 15 pitches to each start. As a starter, 15 to 20. He has 10 more. He might come out for the next one, but the way Pete Walker made it seem before the game, they're kind of just going to see how he feels each inning.
First pitch to Isaac Paredes, down and away, 1-0. And that is such a huge point, I will say. A lot of pitching ailments, pitching injuries are managed by the staff. Kevin Gausman, though, has a huge role to play in how this has been managed. The 1-0 downstairs, 2-0, the rare slider from Gausman. He has been a big part of telling the Blue Jays how he feels when he thinks he can pitch and when he can't pitch, because he is such an accomplished and veteran pitcher. The 2-0 is in there, strike one. That being said, as he just delivered his 60th pitch of the day, the flame-throwing right-hander Nate Pearson is up in the bullpen.
Yeah, I think a guy that has pitched as much as he has.
The 2-1, hit on the ground, foul, 2-2.
Knows the difference between pushing it and knows the difference between an injury and just soreness. I think most pitchers know the difference between those two, but especially Kevin Gausman, who has so many starts and so many innings in the big leagues.
Over 1,500 in the career of Gausman. The 2-2. Check swing, appeal over to first. He got him on a splitter below the knees. 6 Ks in 4 innings for Kevin Gausman, and even if that's it for him, he's done a very good job in his first start. We'll have to wait a little bit to see if he returns, but the Blue Jays come back to the bats when we return in the top of the 5th, up 4-1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
I'm Sheryl Crow. I grew up at a time when, if you were a woman, you were a good musician for a woman.
Sirius XM's Women of Rock.
I always found that to be really insulting.
A channel of icons who broke barriers.
When I saw Heart, I was just like, how do I get in this club?
and the women breaking through right now.
Olivia Rodrigo. This chick rocks.
Hosted by Sheryl Crow. Women of Rock. Now for a limited time on Channel 79 and year-round on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
It's a home run for Ronald Acuna.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to daily fantasy basketball to getting you ready for the NFL Draft, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
How you manage your team day in and day out will be the difference in where you finish in 2024.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Hi, this is Mike Tirico. The 2024 Masters Tournament is coming, and you can hear all the action on SiriusXM.
It turned right into the cup for John Rahm.
Masters Radio returns Monday, April 8th, with play-by-play coverage from Augusta National Golf Club beginning Thursday, April 11th.
Rory McIlroy, 8 under par, 64. He's thinking Grand Slam.
Hear the 2024 Masters on Channel 92 when you're in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
Radio Network.
Top of the 5th inning, 4-1 Blue Jays. Justin Turner leading off. The pitch. Called strike one. I'm Ben Schulman. To my left, Chris LaRue. We'll take a look at the injury report this inning, brought to you by Bergmanis Pryor Personal Injury Lawyers. If life has thrown you a curveball and you're striking out with your insurance company, get ahead of the count and call Bergmanis Pryor Personal Injury Lawyers. The 0-1. Turner hits a high fly ball to left. Arozarena jogging toward the corner. He's up near the wall. That ball lands a foot or two foul of that short wall and left. Nearly a home run. Instead, strike two. You focus on getting better, and Bergmanis Pryor will take care of the rest. Visit bplawyers.ca. Blue Jays don't have John Schneider speak to the media on Sundays, so no major updates except to Alek Manoah, who's obviously been delayed since he made his first start in spring training and then was shelved for a little bit. He threw a side session today on the field to Danny Jansen. He did throw a side near the end of spring training as well, so we'll see what's next for him, whether it's getting into a game or still throwing just in that kind of complex setting. Turner takes the 0-2 pitch out to left field. Arozarena watches it go. Home run, Justin Turner. He's driven in 4 runs for the Blue Jays today. It's 5-1 Toronto.
And that fastball was exactly where Justin Turner loves it. We talked last night on the broadcast about how he loves fastballs that are elevated. And that was an 88-mile-an-hour fastball, about belt high between the letters and the belt maybe. And he hit it a mile.
He had just missed a home run the pitch before. He did not miss on that one. Arozarena kind of gave it a jog for fun, but it was not going to come back to him for sure. The Blue Jays up 5-1 and have their first home run in 2 days, going back to the Springer homer in the third. Dalton Varsho takes strike one. That Springer homer in the third inning of the second game.
Do you think after this game anybody will be talking about the fact that he's 40 years old?
Hey, he's 39. The 0-1. Varsho with a drive to center. Siri backing up, but he's in the deepest part of the yard in front of the 404 sign in center. He makes the catch. 1 out. Well, I would say if people were, I'm not going to tell you what to think, but you probably shouldn't. When he was 38, he set his career high in hits and RBIs. And we talked about it a bit in the spring, but he's one of these guys who really more or less figured it out when he was 29 or 30. So he's just had a unique career to a lot of other players. The pitch to Alejandro Kirk, fouled back, 0-1, 1 out, and the base is empty.
Yeah, he was released, he was DFA'd, and then finally he figured it out with the Dodgers, and he's had a great career starting at 29. That's rare, especially nowadays. Probably wouldn't happen nowadays.
No. The 0-1. Fouled off 0-2.
Because when he was DFA'd or released, he probably wouldn't have been picked up if it was 2024.
Yeah, the guys I think of when I think of people like Justin Turner. Turner, up to his age 29 season, had played about 300 games and was a below-average hitter. I think of Jose Bautista. Here's the 0-2 to Kirk. Popped it up, right side in foul territory. Diaz making chase, makes the catch, 2 down. And I think of Raul Ibanez as 2 guys that really kind of broke out in their 30s. But I would say both of those guys, I haven't exactly looked it up, probably played more games still than Turner had at that point. I mean, Turner really broke in with the Mets as a 26-year-old, played 100 games one of his 3 years with the Mets, but was a part-time player for them. Now he's homered to make it 5-1 Blue Jays. 2 down. Here's Ernie Clement, who takes strike 1.
He came up when I came up. We're the same age. And we played against each other in the minor leagues. We played against each other early on in the big leagues. And I remember him being just a guy in the lineup, nothing special.
Ernie Clement lines the ball to left center field. Arozarena making the call for it as he scoops it up off the grass. Clement stumbles after stopping around first and heads back to the bag with his first hit of the day.
And here's a good question for you. Who is more surprising for you right now, Ernie Clement or Justin Turner?
Oh, Ernie Clement. I mean, neither of them are surprising me if you made me pick, but Justin Turner's got the track record. That's his 188th career home run, first home run as a Blue Jay. He's just doing what he's done for a decade now. Here's Davis Schneider, runner on first, 2 down, top of the 5th. Called strike 1. I'll look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard for a sec. Houston has tied it up with the Yankees. The Yankees' favorite opponent, Jose Altuve, has hit his first home run of the season to make it 1-1. That came in the bottom of the 3rd off Clark Schmidt. Blue Jays go to Houston starting tomorrow. The 0-1 to Schneider's in the dirt, blocked by Rortvedt, the former Yankee, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Schneider's 0 for 2 today, flied out to right and struck out. 5-1 Blue Jays, top of the 5th. The 1-1. Foul tipped into the glove. Beat him with the high heat. It's 1-2.
And there's that just elevated fastball. Nothing special on the velocity, but if you can get that fastball above the belt in the strike zone, that's the hole that Davis Schneider is trying to fight through.
The lefty Alexander looking at the runner Clement. Here's the 1-2. Schneider with a line drive to left field. That one's going to get out of here. Another home run in the inning, and the first of the season for Davis Schneider. 7-1 Blue Jays.
And look where that pitch was. It was down in the zone, inner third. That's where Davis Schneider needs that ball to be for him to do damage. Rortvedt had the target up around the belt, between the letters and the belt, and Alexander just missed his spot.
These are huge add-on runs for the Blue Jays. Schneider and Clement in the high 5 tunnel right now. Clement extended the inning with 2 outs before Schneider hit him in. For the Blue Jays, who have Nate Pearson warming up in the pen once again, this could be big. First pitch to Kevin Biggio, called strike 1. If they don't want to push Kevin Gausman, who's at 60 pitches already and has pitched well today, as Biggio grounds it foul, 0-2. This is massive to be out to what is a 7-1 lead, and man, there's a lot of time to go, but there have not been many close games so far in this series.
No, but this game is so much fun to watch. This is the offense that everybody was talking about after the first game. This is the potential of this offense.
Biggio with a liner to right. Rosario ranging over toward the foul line makes the catch to end the inning. Blue Jays hit 2 home runs. It's the first as a Blue Jay for Turner and the first of the season for Schneider. It's 7-1 Toronto midway through this ball game. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
They are among the greatest to ever play their sports.
Caitlin Clark is the all-time scoring leader.
They are legends and icons.
Larry Bird hit the shot with 2 seconds left. I don't know how he did it.
And you can hear them right now on the all-new Sirius XM app.
We are here with Iowa superstar Caitlin Clark.
I'm so focused on winning. It's never anything I ever take for granted.
Here comes Larry Bird, the Hall of Famer, and he just won Legend of the Year.
Legend of the Year, isn't that something?
For access to the game's greats, rely on the leader in sports audio. Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on Sirius XM.
We're back on the track Sunday,
6 p.m. Eastern.
It's the Toyota Owners 400 from Richmond Raceway.
Checker flag, baby. Yeah.
On Sirius XM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 in the car and on the all-new Sirius XM app. Yeah. Get closer to everything that moves you wherever you are with the Sirius XM app.
Let's make some smoke and drink some beer. Yeah.
The Women's NCAA Tournament is on Sirius XM.
It is going to be fun. It is going to be interesting.
For the best guests.
Don Staley.
I just want us to be who we've been.
And coverage of March Madness. Tune in to Sirius XM SEC Radio. From the biggest stars.
Three split back is good. Nobody wants any part.
No part of it.
Of Angel Reese right now.
To the top teams. We've got you covered through the National Championship in Cleveland. It's all on Sirius XM SEC Radio, Channel 374. And the all-new Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win whichever fantasy sport you play. Right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new Sirius XM app.
Network.
Bottom of the fifth inning, 7-1 Blue Jays. Kevin Gausman will come out for another inning. We'll see how far they let him go, but at 62 pitches, the right-hander starts with Ahmed Rosario. His 63rd of the day is in there, strike one.
Yeah, my guess was 70 to 75, so another 12 or 13 pitches. That sounds about right.
See if he can make it through the inning. If not, Nate Pearson, who's been off and on warming up, maybe comes into the ball game. The 0-1. Fastball chopped to short on the backhand, picked by Clement. Nice play as he throws over to first. One out. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman. He's Chris LaRue.
And Ernie Clement, just another solid play. That was actually a tough pick, a short hop on a high hopper, and he just makes it just a vacuum over there. That's his new nickname.
The vacuum? You can run it by him. One down. Here's Jose Siri out in center field for the Rays today. The pitch. Swing and a miss, strike one. Gausman fed Siri 3 fastballs in the second inning, all in the zone. He swung and missed at all of them. And after the third one, he swung and missed. He just dropped the bat behind him and walked back to the dugout. didn't even go back for it. Here's the 0-1. He fouls back that fastball, and it's 0-2. So he hasn't even seen a splitter yet. New baseball for Gausman, and his 0-2 pitch is bounced. Siri nearly swung on that pitch that bounced way in front of the plate. It's 1-2.
That bounced about 5 feet in front of the plate, and Siri somewhat offered at it.
He had to check his swing. Gausman stretches out his arm, steps back on the rubber. His 1-2. Broken bat, bouncer up the third base line is going to go foul. That piece of lumber is absolutely destroyed. Siri needs a new one. Still down 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kevin Gausman.
And another half swing from Siri. This time he breaks his bat on a splitter that was on the inside part of the plate. Obviously, Siri was not expecting that pitch and was kind of just trying to fight to stay alive. An ugly swing.
I mean, sometimes you say, oh, he got it off the handle. And that really means like the skinnier part of the barrel. He got that off the handle, like just above his hands. And it broke that bat. Now he's got a new one. It's a bit of a different color. He had a 2-tone bat before. This one an all black bat he holds now. With 1 out and the base is empty. Bottom of the fifth, 7-1 Blue Jays. The 1-2, and he hit him. 98-mile-per-hour fastball ran inside, and that's a shame. He apologizes to Siri, who gives him the thumbs up that it's okay. Gausman had all control of that at bat. The fastball sails on him, and now John Schneider coming out of the dugout to end his day. The Blue Jays are going to make a pitching change here, but still a very strong debut for Kevin Gausman. He certainly looked like his usual self. John Schneider hasn't made the point yet. Here he takes the baseball, and that'll be it for Gausman. With that, let's go to baseball control for the first time today. Here's Showa Lee.
Thank you very much, Ben. And before we check in on the out-of-town scoreboard, let's hear a little bit more from Blue Jays pitching coach Pete Walker. He was asked pregame today, but Alek Manoah and where Manoah is in his recovery timetable.
He should be 3 innings out. His next outing, he's got a side today. He's going to be pitching on Tuesday, I believe, and we'll build him up from there. Kind of a 3-4 inning, 5 inning type of build up. Get him up to 75 or so pitches at that 5 inning mark, and then make some decisions at that point. But his stuff, honestly, it looks really, really good. The velocity's there. He's consistently in the mid-90s right now, which we haven't seen in a while. The action on the sinker's outstanding. The spin on the breaking ball is as good as it's ever been. So now it's a matter of him pitching and getting back into a routine.
That's Blue Jays pitching coach Pete Walker chatting about Alek Manoah and his recovery timetable. Let's check out that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Angels lead the Orioles 4-1 around Major League Baseball. Taylor Ward with a 2-run bomb off Tyler Wells early on. Other scores have the Brewers up on the Mets 2-1. Nationals and Reds tied at 3. The Royals crushing the Twins right now, 9-0, going to the bottom of the 3rd inning for the Royals. The Yankees game, top of the 4th inning. Yankees up 2-1 on the Astros. Jose Altuve does have a home run, but John Birdie and Jose Trevino scoring the run for the Yankees as New York looks to sweep the Astros to start that 4-game series. And over in the NHL, just one game scheduled today. Ducks at Canucks will go at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, so just about 25 minutes from now. You watch it on Sportsnet Pacific and Sportsnet 360. Listen to it on Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver on the radio. Canucks Central postgame will have you covered after the game as well. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the guys. Blue Jays lead at 7-1. Here's Ben and Chris.
Thank you, Show. Nate Pearson is on with a runner on first, 1 out. It's the bottom of the order for the Rays and a 7-1 lead for the Blue Jays. That ends the day of Kevin Gausman. His line isn't closed yet because, unfortunately, a fastball got away from him, hit Jose Siri to end his outing. Here's Pearson's first pitch to Ben Rortvedt. It's high and outside, 1-0. But the worst that could be is 2 runs against Gausman, who just gave up the solo home run in the first and a single in the third. That's really all that the Rays could do against Gausman today, as the 1-0 pitch is fouled back by Rortvedt, 1-1.
And aside from how good he looked all game, that last fastball was 98 miles an hour.
Yeah, not the location you want, but the velocity is good.
Shows that he's healthy.
Yeah. Gausman takes a rest after 4 1/3. Pearson trying to pick him up. Peeks over his shoulder, and the 1-1 is high, ball 2.
And this is a good opportunity for Pearson to come into a game, feel a little bit more comfortable. You have a 6-run lead. You don't have to be overly quick to home plate with that guy on first base because he doesn't really matter.
Rortvedt sends a fly ball to center field. Varsho ranging into deep left center makes the catch. 1 out. Or pardon me, 2 down now. There was 1 out when Pearson entered. We'll see what the Blue Jays want to do here. Mitch White is still sitting down right now. Nate Pearson's a guy who can provide a little bit of length too, so you could give Pearson the 5th and maybe the 6th and then turn it over to White. There's the 7th, 8th, and 9th. We still haven't seen Chad Green this season either.
But you also have Bowden Francis going tomorrow, so you
maybe you want to say
unsure about him.
First pitch to Jose Caballero, high, ball 1. 2 outs, runner on first. Blue Jays up 7-1 at Tropicana Field. The pitch called strike, and it's 1-1.
And I do see a lot of life from Nate Pearson's fastball. That was a good slider there. Started at the hip of Caballero and broke back over the middle of the plate. 96, 97. Mid-season, he's normally about 100.
Slider there right at the bottom of the zone for called strike 2. Yeah, I think the stuff is there. The walks have really hampered him over at least 2023. He steps off the mound, gets some extra time here on the clock. But when he's in there, he's tough to hit. The 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball grounded to short. Clement picks it up, throws over to first. And that will do it for the 5th inning. A nice 2 quick outs for Nate Pearson. That closes the book on Gausman as well. Only 1 run allowed for him in his debut start of the year. 7-1 Blue Jays going to the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
The Blue Jays are inviting you to work from Dome. Put it in your calendar. 307 weekdays starts this season. You can work from Dome with friends or coworkers at Rogers Center. It's a game changer. Make the ballpark your office for the afternoon. Work from Dome, 307 weekday starts. Let's touch base. Check out ticket options on bluejays.com/workfromdome.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important news bulletin. Desjardins Insurance was spotted downtown helping everyone in its path. Unpredictable weather, fallen tree branches, wayward baseballs flying towards second-story windows. Desjardins Insurance is helping Canadians through it all. Is there nothing this large and friendly ally won't do for neighbors in need? Never before have we seen insurance with a heart so big it shows.
Desjardins Insurance, home and auto. Learn more at desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
0-2 swing and a miss, strike three.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The sixth inning is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance, helping Canadians through it all. Desjardins Insurance, insurance with a heart so big it shows. Visit desjardins.com/heart today. First pitch of the sixth inning is delivered inside to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, 1-0. Tyler Alexander's still on the mound. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. It's 7-1 Blue Jays here, front half of the sixth. The 1-0. Inside again, 2-0. It's been an impressive day for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Not only has he come up with 2 hits and he scored in the second, but he started at second base today, a position he's only played 21 times in his major league career. The 2-0. Lifted to shallow right, charging in Rosario makes the catch. 1 out. Kiner-Falefa made 20 appearances at second as a rookie. Actually told me that while he was playing third a lot for Texas and even catching a little bit, if they had like a lefty sinker ball or someone that would generate a lot of ground balls to the right side, they might bring Isaiah Kiner-Falefa over from third to second. But he's played it once since his rookie year before today in a major league game.
Yeah, but I think like a lot like Ernie Clement, he's just an athlete. He knows exactly what to do on each pitch.
Obviously, Springer grounds the ball foul 0-1.
Obviously, you need to learn the ins and outs, and I think guys like that are very cerebral when it comes to thinking about baseball. They just know where to go, and that's the most important thing.
Springer up with 1 out, top of the sixth inning. The pitch downstairs, 1-1. Springer's ground ball, by the way, scooped up by the ball boy down the left field line, blocking the Mitch White bullpen session that's going on right now. So Mitch getting loose to come into the game for the Blue Jays. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, 1-2.
And that ball boy last night that made the incredible diving play,
diving backhand,
that was
stop.
All over every Instagram reel, highlight reel, Sports Center, everything.
He got interviewed today on Valley Sports South.
Oh, man.
They had an in-game interview with him. Here's the 1-2. High, 2-2. And I liked, kind of like if you were like in-game interviewing a manager, let's say, his eyes were not on the camera or anything like that. Like he's being interviewed on TV as the ball boy down the right field line. The 2-2's high, full count. And he's locked in to make sure that he's doing what he has to do.
Wait, he was working still while he was being interviewed?
He was like one arm on the barrier, staring at home plate. They're reaching a mic over, but he was not looking at the camera at all. Payoff to Springer, foul tipped into the glove, strike 3. And there are 2 quick outs here for Alexander.
Well, I must admit, well deserved. That was
awesome.
That was an incredible play, not only by a baseball player, but a ball boy.
It was a good effort play, too.
Yeah.
2 down. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. coming up with the bases empty. Top of the sixth, 7-1 Blue Jays. Guerrero takes the first pitch for called strike 1.
We look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard. Coming up in less than an hour, Garrett Whitlock starts for the Boston Red Sox against Bryce Miller for Seattle. 0-1 pitch. Check swing called, strike 2. Red Sox and Mariners went to extra innings for the second time in 3 nights yesterday. Mariners ended up winning that game. It's been a good series so far. Mariners ahead 2-1. 0-2 to Guerrero. High, ball 1. Our out of town scores brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Vladdy's walked twice today, has also struck out. Came around to score in the first. The 1-2. Guerrero hits a looping ball to right. Rosario steps in, now stepping back, makes the catch, and ends the inning. A 1-2-3 for Alexander, middle of the 6th. It's 7-1 Blue Jays at Tropicana Field. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Just in time for your Easter celebrations. Carrie Underwood brings you faith-based favorites for that Sunday feeling every day of the week.
Faith-based music means a lot to me. I feel like that is something that is deep in my heart.
Featuring classic gospel standards and country's rising stars. Save your Sunday daily, a new channel by Carrie's Country. Available now in the Sirius XM app.
Are you regretting eating that gas station hot dog? Yeah, we know. We've been there too. This is a message for baseball fans like you. Did you know that you get a channel that's talking baseball 24/7 as part of your Sirius XM subscription?
What?
Our lineup includes shows hosted by former big leaguers and executives. Plus, you'll hear from 17 managers each week. MLB Network Radio is on Sirius XM Channel 89. Or just search MLB Network Radio on the SXM app. Sirius XM Sports. We're more than just a game.
Get ready for the 2024 NFL Draft on SiriusXM NFL Radio.
Touchdown, Caleb Williams.
Catch exclusive interviews with the top prospects as they begin their journey to the NFL. And hear pick-by-pick coverage of the 2024 Draft from Detroit in April.
With the first pick, the Chicago Bears select.
Your home for the 2024 NFL Draft is SiriusXM NFL Radio Channel 88 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
Hi, this is Alexa. Did you know you can listen to this game on devices with Amazon Alexa? Download the SiriusXM app, then tell me to play the Blue Jays on SiriusXM
Radio Network.
New pitcher for the Blue Jays as we start the bottom of the 6th inning. Mitch White has come on for Toronto, the second man out of the Blue Jays bullpen today. He's in to protect the 7-1 lead. White will get the top of the order. Yandy Diaz, Brandon Lau, and Randy Arozarena do up at Tropicana Field. White struggled last season in 10 games with the Blue Jays, had an ERA over 7, but has changed it up a little bit. Specifically changed up his mechanics. First pitch is fouled off, 0-1. And his fastball was averaging above 95, 96 in spring training, so that extra juice they think could give him some extra value out of the pen.
Yeah, just it allows you to make more mistakes, right? If you're at 93, you can't really make many mistakes.
This is down and away at 94, 1-1.
So those first 2 fastballs we've seen from him today are both 94 miles an hour. That's not going to be the fastball velocity where you can make mistakes. When he gets up to 96, 98 miles an hour like we saw him in spring training, you can leave some balls over the middle.
Next pitch is his slider, down and away, 2-1. White facing off with Yandy Diaz, who is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts, both coming against Kevin Gausman. Nate Pearson got 2 outs to end the 5th. Now Mitch White, who's into the wind and delivers. Missed low, 3-1. Yandy Diaz was sent over to the Rays back ahead of the 2019 season. That was a trade that actually involved Edwin Encarnacion, of all people, going from Cleveland to Seattle. 3-1, fouled back, 3-2. Diaz was one of the players who went from Cleveland elsewhere. He went Cleveland to the Rays, and Carlos Santana at that point ended up on Seattle. Or pardon me, on Cleveland. He would later go to Seattle, play against the Blue Jays in the playoffs a couple of years ago. 3-2 pitch. Poked foul right side and down into the bullpen of the Rays down the right field line. That's where former Blue Jay Jacob Waguespack is getting loose right now. A guy who started a lot of the time for the Blue Jays, maybe in a long relief role now for the Rays. A swing and a foul off by Diaz. Again, 7-pitch battle here to start White's appearance. White nods and brings his glove up to his chin. Into the wind, the 3-2 again. High and outside, ball 4. Mitch had some strong moments in camp, but there were a good handful of walks as well. That was the concerning thing. Walked 11 guys to 14 strikeouts in 18 innings. His leadoff walk sets up Brandon Lau with the runner on first, no outs. First pitch, called strike 1. The left-handed hitting Lau is 0 for 2, a line out and a strikeout. The 0-1. Hit well to right field. On the run, Biggio makes the catch in front of the track. Sets up and throws it back in. Allowed out, but they all count the same. There's one down here in the bottom of the 6th.
Yeah, and keep in mind it's 7-1, so this is a good spot for Mitch White to kind of get his feet wet. He's probably a little nervous just because he knows his leash is short. Everybody knows. Everybody's been talking about it. He has Twitter. He sees his name pop up. If he can get through this game, throw some strikes, get some guys out, I guarantee he'll have a lot more confidence. A lot like Nate Pearson, where he needs the confidence to be able to throw strikes to come into big situations.
There's a ball on the field. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just picked up a ball off the infield. Usually you see a ball drops on the outfield. I don't know where that came from.
Probably came from Waguespack.
Yeah, you're right. Probably did come from Waguespack.
Ball boy's not doing his job down there.
He's a little too focused on the highlight reel plays. Here's the first pitch to Randy Arozarena. Called strike 1. Nice power slider there.
And you can see, even just with that first slider, Mitch White looks a little bit more comfortable after getting that first out.
Walked Diaz, got Lau to fly out. Now Arozarena. Here's the 0-1. Inside, 1-1. Alejandro Kirk turning around to talk with home plate umpire Derek Thomas. That one did look to be off the plate, but it just missed. White peeks over at the runner at first with one down and delivers home. Fly ball to shallow right this time. Much more weakly hit. Biggio coming in to make the catch, 2 outs.
And even though his velo is just a tick down, you can see he's making good pitches. He's hitting his spots. A lot of good spin on his breaking ball. I like Mitch White. I don't think he's ever going to be the late inning reliever that some thought he would be when he was drafted by the Dodgers, but he's a good guy that you want in the game, in a 7-1 ball game, eat up some innings.
2 quick outs here for White after the leadoff walk. He's got Harold Ramirez to deal with. The pitch is hit well to right field. Biggio going back on the track, has room and makes the catch to end the inning. So 3 flyouts to right is how Mitch White disposes of the Rays in the 6th. We go to the 7th inning with Toronto up 7-1. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Everyone dreams of owning their own personal slice of heaven. Now you can, thanks to Fixed Rate Pizza by Pizza Pizza. Until the end of 2024, lock into an extra-large 4-topping pizza at a fixed price of $17.99. No matter how bad food prices get this year, your pizza price stays. So why not say no to surge pricing and yes to fixed-rate pizza? Order now from Pizza Pizza.
Order pizzapizza.ca. At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
When you have an iconic look like Danny Jansen, picking new glasses can be tough.
Too big, too small, too cool, too much, too 90s, too futuristic. I think I'm just going to stick with the originals. These are working just fine.
He is really seeing the ball well.
Your friends will do a double take when they see you in your Danny Jansen new blue replica jersey and glasses.
And he's got some style.
On Monday, April 29th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Jano bundle. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
That ball is gone. Third home run in 4 batters for the Blue Jays.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 7th inning. Blue Jays leading 7-1 over the Tampa Bay Rays. Jacob Waguespack is the new pitcher for the Rays. The right-hander twists and offers to Justin Turner. Called strike one. Waguespack, the righty, who pitched overseas a little bit, pitched for the Blue Jays most recently in the majors in 2019 and 2020. The righty's pitch. Outside, 1-1. And he has to start with Justin Turner, who is a triple away from the cycle. A home run in his last at-bat, a double in the second, and a single in the first. He's driven in 4 runs today. The 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
And for Justin Turner to get a triple, some wild things will have to happen.
You want to guess how many he has in his career?
I'm not going to look. Let's say 3.
9.
Oh,
9.
That's actually not bad.
The 1-2. High and tight. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now, last one came in 2020. That was as a Dodger at Arizona.
And this park is pretty standard, too. So
yeah,
there's no
a lot
weird,
of them are funky parks. But 9 is pretty good. The 2-2. In the dirt, 3-2. And for Turner, if you go back to his final plate appearance of yesterday's game where he picked up his first hit as a Blue Jay, he's 4 for his last 4. He had the double, then the single, then the double, then the homer. 3-2. High and outside, ball 4. He'll take a walk here rather than chasing that cycle and lead off.
And that is just
a free pass.
That is just disappointing. I would have loved to see him try to get a triple. Leg out a triple somewhere.
It probably would have been like, bangs off a wall, bounces into right center.
Somebody falls down.
Here's Dalton Varsho. Runner on first, nobody out. 7-1 Blue Jays, top of the 7th. Waguespack's pitch. Inside with a breaking ball, ball 1. Sunday, April 14th marks the first Junior Jays of the season. Junior Jays opening day. Bring the whole family to the ballpark for a day packed with excitement. Enjoy games, prizes, artists, and much more. Here's the 1-0. High and inside, 2-0. Be sure to stick around post-game where kids 14 and under can run the bases. Don't miss out on this unforgettable experience. Head to BlueJays.com/JuniorJays and get your tickets today. Varsho in the driver's seat here. 2-ball, no strike count. Waguespack, the righty, peeking over his left shoulder. Kicks and fires. Missed down and in, 3-0.
I'd love to see Dalton Varsho get loose here with this 3-0. Give him the green light. You're up by 6. Why not?
Varsho open in his stance, bat high above his left shoulder. The 3-0. Inside, ball 4. Might have had the green light, but wouldn't have had a chance on that pitch. He takes inside. It's a 4-pitch walk. And now 2 on here for Alejandro Kirk. After back-to-back walks to start the inning, that's going to prompt a quick mound visit from Kyle Snyder, which means for the last time in this game, we'll take a look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Yankees have extended their lead over the Houston Astros. A sacrifice fly by Aaron Judge after a Juan Soto single, and a Gleyber Torres fielder's choice had him on base. A couple plays that set it up, but Aaron Judge knocks in Gleyber Torres to make it 3-1 Yankees. Now the bottom of the 5th, the Astros batting in danger of being swept in a 4-game set at their own ballpark to start the season.
Well, they lost 106 games in 2011. I remember that because they were in my division in the NL Central at that point. And they were
that was their last year in the Central?
I believe so. And they were the laughing stock of the NL Central at that point. And the Pirates were in that division.
First pitch strike to Alejandro Kirk, 0-1. Hey, the Pirates made the playoffs like 3 years in a row there. Now, they didn't really win the World Series or anything. No. So that's why a lot of people might not remember. But they had a little run. Kirk up with first and second. Nobody out. The pitch. Called strike 2. Speaking of the Pirates, they have the opposite going on right now. They're 3-0. Although they trail 6-4 to Miami right now, top of the 7th. Rowdy Tellez is batting with 2 on for the Pirates. 0-2 pitch to Kirk. Popped up, out of play. Still nothing in 2, but Kirk stays alive. Looks like the Angels are going to secure their first win of the season after losing 2 in a row to Baltimore. They're up 8-1, batting right now in the top of the 8th. 0-2 again to Kirk, and he fouls off a high heater. Poor Philly has to draw Atlanta to start the season.
2 exciting teams, though.
Very exciting. And Philly has been, worse than them in the regular season, but better in the postseason back-to-back years. But Atlanta, a couple outs away potentially from sweeping Philadelphia, up 3-2, bottom 7, so still some time. But Atlanta's tough. Two-strike pitch to Kirk once again. And it's bounced. Alejandro fighting here. 2 pitches fouled off. Now 1 taken with 2 strikes on him.
And Aaron Nola didn't pitch well yesterday, but we saw him in Clearwater just last week in his last spring training outing, and he got the standing ovation coming off the field. That's how good he looked.
And it's tough. I think a ton of guys have a great first outing in a bad season, a bad first outing in a great season. You obviously would prefer to do well off the jump. You'd prefer to sweep a team in your first series, but you just never know. The 1-2. Called strike 3. That's a beautiful pitch by Waguespack. Breaking ball right on the outside edge to freeze Kirk. 1 down.
Yeah, and you're right. Baseball is unlike any other sport where the first couple of weeks, even the first month really, they don't really matter unless you just are awful.
Or like Tampa Bay Rays 13-0, yeah. Great. Then you're like, okay, that team's probably really good. But I remember, speaking of Pittsburgh, as Ernie Clement takes outside 1-0. Pittsburgh started last season either 20-8 or 20-9. By the way, they've taken the lead. Rowdy Tellez homer. So it's 7-6. They're probably going to go to 4-0. They did not end the season with an above 500 record. They were 12 games above 500 to start the year. Swing and a miss from Clement, 1-1. So as we look at the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, it all does need to be put in some perspective, too. Top of the 7th in St. Petersburg. Blue Jays up 7-1 on the Rays. First and second, 1 out. The 1-1 to Ernie Clement. Hit hard back up the middle, but right at the second baseman, Lau flips over to Caballero, who bounces the throw to first. Clement's going to take off for second. Turner's going to come in to score on the throwing error. They couldn't turn 2. Caballero tried to rush it against the speed of Clement, and the Blue Jays add on another run. It's a fielder's choice for Ernie, and it's 8-1 Blue Jays.
And that was just an awkward throw for Caballero coming across his body. His right foot touched the bag. And he was coming across the bag trying to throw to first base. As a right-handed thrower, that's a really awkward throw, and he bounces it at first base to Yandy Diaz. He can't come up with it.
Ernie's safe at first on the fielder's choice, advances to second on the error, and Turner advances home on the error. First pitch to Davis Schneider bounces 1-0. So it's not an RBI for Clement, but they want to make more contact. These things happen sometimes when you put the ball in play.
And he certainly does. That is one thing he is very good at.
Here's Schneider, who has a strikeout, a flyout, and a home run he hit in his last at-bat, his first of the season. He takes ball 2. 2 outs and a runner on second. Top of the 7th, 8-1 Blue Jays over Rays. The 2-0. Called strike 1, a breaking ball over the inside edge. Well, if we're talking about how do you judge early on or when do you judge, I mean, let's say the score stays even close to what it is right now. Here's the 2-1 to Schneider. Outside ball 3. How is either team supposed to come out of this series and judge anything? We've seen essentially back and forth, very dominant games. Blue Jays in game 1, Rays in game 2, and then yesterday winning 5-1, still really had a handle on that. Now the Blue Jays up 8-1 here in game 4 as Schneider takes outside ball 4. He'll walk and extend the inning for Kevin Biggio.
Yeah, I think you're right. The Blue Jays were great offensively for 2 games, terrible for 2 games. They pitched really well for 2 games, albeit 2 guys that are supposed to pitch well every time out. The Blue Jays have to rely on Jose Barrios and Kevin Gausman. That's the thing. You don't really think much about it. It's great to win. It's great to be 4-0 after the first 4 games, but the Blue Jays will clearly take 2-2.
Still have some work to do, though. Top of the 7th, the pitch to Kevin Biggio is inside ball 1. Jacob Waguespack trying to get out of this first inning of work. He's thrown 25 pitches so far. Has recorded 2 outs, but has 2 base runners on right now, and the Blue Jays have scored 1. The 1-0. Biggio fouls it back. A teammate of Waguespack's in 2019 and 20. Drops into the seats 1-1. It was a rough day today for Tyler Alexander, the bulk guy for the Rays. They gave him an opener in Sean Armstrong, who got hit around. 1-1. Biggio rips it to right field, a base hit. Clement is charging around third. He's going to come in to score, and going first to third is Schneider. Biggio takes off for second. He's there safely under the tag. The Blue Jays running wild as Kevin Biggio steals an extra 90 feet after Davis Schneider went first to third. And it's 9-1 on the RBI single by Kevin Biggio.
And there's so many guys doing big things today. Guys that kind of really aren't expected to be huge producers in this lineup. You have Ernie Clement, Kevin Biggio, Davis Schneider. Blue Jays are rolling right now.
That's the 3rd time in 4 games that Kevin Biggio has driven in runs. Drove in one yesterday, drove in one today, and of course hit the home run in the opener. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa's up. He takes a first pitch strike.
And how could I forget Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who has 2 hits today?
Yeah, I mean, the Blue Jays have top-down production today. Everyone has reached base safely. They've had power from the top 3, from the bottom 3. The 0-1. Kiner-Falefa takes ball 1. And they, to go back to the pitchers, they had 5 runs scored off of Tyler Alexander, the lefty, in 5 innings. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. 1-2. And Roger Lajoie was on Fan 590 before the game and on the Sportsnet Radio Network talking to Brian Anderson, TV analyst for Bally Sports South on the Tampa Bay Rays broadcast. And he said, well, you're going to see a ton of different guys today if you're a batter because of the opening strategy. The 1-2's fouled back. But because the Blue Jays hit Alexander so much, they got to see him multiple times. It wasn't the traditional plan that the Rays are going for, where, hey, you see Armstrong once, then Alexander maybe twice, then another guy. They really got to see Alexander go through the lineup a few times. 2nd and 3rd, 2 down. 1-2 to IKF. Outside ball 2.
And I think this at-bat here for IKF with 2 runners in scoring position will be huge for his confidence if he can come through here.
2 for 3 already today with a run scored. He steps back into the box, taps the front corners of the plate, and pinwheels the bat with the Blue Jays up 9-1. The pitch. High ball 3. Waguespack's issued 33 pitches, and if he throws a ball here, the top of the order comes up with the bases loaded. This is his first inning of work. Payoff pitch. Kiner-Falefa shoots it foul.
And I think at this point the Rays will just let Waguespack eat the rest of this ball game. whether he gives up 5 or whether he gets out of this inning here. I think that they just want that bullpen to be saved.
Through 78 innings for the Blue Jays in 2019, can certainly deal with length. He was a starter 13 of those times that he appeared out of 16 for the Blue Jays that year. The 3-2 again. And Kiner-Falefa fights it off again. Man, is he going to make Waguespack work for this first inning, though?
The more I see IKF hit, the more I realize he's a lot like Ernie Clement, where he'll fight off tough pitches. He takes tough pitches. He might not be a Vlad in this lineup, but he is a tough out.
Payoff again. Outside, ball 4, and we continue as IKF reaches base for the 3rd time today.
Yeah, that was an impressive at-bat. That last pitch there wasn't really very close, but it was still a tough pitch. About 2 balls off and he fought off a lot of pitches, a lot of tough pitches from Waguespack. It was a very impressive at-bat.
Kevin Cash is a left-hander up. Garrett Clevenger getting loose. Waguespack still in the game. George Springer, who's 1 for 3, is up right now. The pitch. High ball 1. Springer started this game off with a single. Blue Jays scored 2 runs in the first inning. Their first inning runs this year. The 1-0. Called strike.
Ooh, and Springer wants that one back. That wasn't a strike there. That was about a half a ball off the plate. You could see him frustrated with that call, kind of jumping around. You always know what he's thinking, that's for sure.
Here's the 1-1. Fouled back into the glove, 1-2. Maybe the zone getting a bit bigger here for Waguespack, who's walked 4 guys in the inning. Is about to throw his 40th pitch of the frame. Blue Jays with 2 in the inning. The bases loaded, up 9-1 in the top of the 7th. Fans want desperately to stretch at Tropicana Field. The 1-2. Foul tipped into the glove. Strike 3. Springer is out, and that's it for the top of the 7th. The Blue Jays add 2 more with only 1 hit in the frame and lead 9-1 as the 7th inning stretch starts in St. Petersburg. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
He doesn't throw fastballs, he throws fuego. He has the focus and agility of a Shaolin monk. He's not just a pitcher, he's a machine. He defends the field and our city's honor.
He is one of the best defensively out on the mound.
Jose Barrios is as good as gold. Celebrate Jose's golden accomplishment with the Jose Barrios Gold Glove Bobblehead. Friday, April 12th. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important news bulletin. Desjardins Insurance was spotted downtown helping everyone in its path. Unpredictable weather, fallen tree branches, wayward baseballs flying towards second-story windows. Desjardins Insurance is helping Canadians through it all. Is there nothing this large and friendly ally won't do for neighbors in need? Never before have we seen insurance with a heart so big it shows.
Desjardins Insurance, home and auto. Learn more at desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Marshall smashes the ball to right field. It's gone!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you at Baseball Control in our downtown Toronto studios. Jays lead the Rays 9-1 down at the Trop. Quick check of that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Over in the NBA, the Raptors taking on the 76ers tonight down at Scotiabank Arena in Toronto. They are looking to snap a lengthy losing streak against Nick Nurse and company. Tip-off goes at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. You can listen to the game on Sportsnet 590 The Fan here in Toronto. Eric Smith and Paul Jones will have the call. Raptors reaction with Will Liu will follow the game as usual. Over in the NHL, Ducks and Canucks on the go. 0s at Rogers Arena. You watch it on Sportsnet Pacific and Sportsnet 360. Listen to it right now on Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver. Connect Central postgame will have you covered after the game as well. And we have Jays Talk. Julia Kreutz is alongside me in studio. She'll join me for the postgame show. We'll take your calls and texts. Get all of your postgame comments. Blair and Parker back for the Astro series starting tomorrow night. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Jays lead the Rays 9-1 at the Trop. Here's Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm alongside Chris here as the Blue Jays get back out on the field for the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 9-1 Toronto over Tampa Bay. Mitch White remains in the game. And Chris, I mean, we talked about it a little bit in the top half. This could not be more of a flip than days previous, and the Blue Jays really couldn't have mapped out a more comfortable game so far than the one they're dealing with right now.
No, you're right. And I think the two biggest things for me in this game, Justin Turner and the health of Kevin Gausman. He looked great, but more importantly, he threw 70 pitches-ish.
Yeah,
he's
just about
he's
70,
healthy.
72, I believe.
And he's healthy. Those are the two biggest things. But Justin Turner, 40 years old, 3 for 3 with 4 RBIs.
Mitch White on the mound. His pitch to Isaac Paredes, called strike one.
I've heard rumblings that Justin Turner doesn't want people mentioning that he's 40 years old anymore.
I haven't heard anything, but he's not 40 anyway. He's 39. Here's the 0-1. Line shot to left field. It hangs up for Davis Schneider, who actually just made his first play out there. Schneider had a couple of highlight reel catches in the offseason. He squeezes that one off near the foul line. He had a diving catch in Tampa against the Yankees, ranging to his right, and then a diving catch in Sarasota against the Orioles, going back into his left, and is starting to feel a little bit more comfortable out there in the outfield. Here's Ahmed Rosario, a guy going through a similar transition. The first pitch is inside, 1-0.
And if Davis Schneider continues to hit home runs, he'll probably find himself in this lineup more often than not.
Yeah, the offense tends to help you get in the lineup, especially when you hit a ball like he did today. 1-0 to Rosario, chopped to third, backs up Turner, who throws over to first and throws it wide. Sailed it down the right field line. IKF went over there to grab it, and the runner could not advance. Rosario will stay there, but that's the second error already of the season on Turner.
And you have to question whether he just didn't have a handle on that ball there, because that was an easy hop. He took the crow hop, and he kind of just, maybe the ball cut on him. It looked like he was, I don't know. I just have to chalk it up to he didn't have a good grip on that baseball.
So Turner throws it away to make it a runner on first, one out, and Jose Siri takes strike one. Well, Rosario, the guy who just reached, like Davis Schneider, primarily an infielder now, obviously in the majors for a much longer time than Davis Schneider has been. Here's the 0-1 to Siri. High, ball one. Rosario has, coming into this season, made 797 defensive appearances, and 752 of them were at short. A lot of the other ones at second with the Dodgers last year, 36 times at second. He's barely played the corners until the last couple days. The 1-1's inside, and Siri now has a good handle on the count at 2 balls and 1 strike. Rosario on first, though, after that error. White peeking over his left shoulder to look at him. Now set. Glove near his chest. Here's the 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2. Jose Siri back in the box, resting the bat on his right shoulder. White shaking off his sign. Now nods. Tucks the ball into his glove and delivers. And a breaking ball is fouled off.
And I would imagine that Mitch White probably will finish out this ball game with a tough,
if he can,
with a tough 3-game series coming up in Houston.
The 2-2. Breaking ball sliced off. Foul, still 2-2. I would say I wouldn't be shocked if they said Mitch for this inning and the next inning and get Chad Green in a game. He hasn't pitched in a game yet this year.
That's a good point.
He's the only Blue Jay reliever to not pitch so far. The 2-2. Down and in, ball 3. And it's not like last season where Chad Green's coming off a major injury. He had as John Schneider said, paraphrasing a little, no restrictions at all, completely regular spring. So they don't have to worry about don't use him here to save him for there, etc. Payoff pitch. Bounce to third. Turner with a second try. He's over to second for 1. Back to first, not in time. But a 5-4 fielder's choice ground out there. Jose Siri safe at first, and Turner looking a lot more comfortable at third on that throw.
Yeah, looking back at that play, you just have to think that he didn't have a good handle on that baseball. He probably has made less than 2 of those plays in his entire career at third base. He normally gets that easy hop and makes the throw right to the chest of the first baseman, but he'll tell you after the ball game he just didn't have a good handle on that baseball.
Here's Ben Rortvedt, left-handed hitting catcher with 2 down and a runner on first. The pitch, called strike 1. Well, maybe rust a factor as well, although Turner has been a third baseman for most of his career. With Rafael Devers in Boston last year, he played 7 games at third all season. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, nothing in 2.
And I hate to say this, Ben, but you and I could have made that play.
I do not think I could have made that play. First of all, I'm a lefty.
That was as easy as it gets when it comes to being played at third base.
But trust me, I could not have made that play. Here's the 0-2. Swing and a foul tip off of Kirk, who reaches back for a new baseball and sends it back to Mitch White.
And because Chad Green hasn't thrown in this series yet, does that mean that he's essentially the closer because there hasn't been any closing opportunities?
Potentially, although I don't know because they brought Jimmy Garcia in a big spot yesterday. I also don't know if maybe they just kind of split those guys and it's based on matchup. Yeah. 2-strike pitch again. Grounded to short. Picked up on the backhand side by Clement. Jump throw to first. Long stretch by Vladdy. He got him. Clement looking like Jeter and Guerrero looking like an acrobat as he does the splits into right field to rein it in for the 3rd out of the inning. The runner is stranded on first and the Blue Jays lead 9-1 going to the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The NBA playoffs are right around the corner, and you can hear the best matchups and wall-to-wall coverage on NBA Radio Channel 86.
Driving through the rim, got there, lays it up and in!
We're getting you ready for the postseason with our experts all day, every day.
This is what playoff basketball is, man. This ain't about pretty stuff.
Defensively, they have 0 weaknesses.
The NBA postseason starts April 16th, and your home for all the action is NBA Radio Channel 86 in the car and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
This is CJ Nikowski. Join me, Ryan Spilborghs, and Brad Lidge every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern as we give you the player's perspective of what's happening in baseball.
He is possessed every time he goes out there right now. This is crazy.
There's this energy that certain players bring.
It's Loud Outs every weekday at 2 p.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM, Channel 89, and the all-new SiriusXM app.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, original specials, and much, much, much more. All baseball, every day, on your radio. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on Sirius XM
Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you at Baseball Control in our downtown Toronto studios. Jays lead the Rays 9-1 down at the Trop. It was sent to a review. The catch, the very acrobatic catch for the Blue Jays, but it does not look like they changed any minds. So the team now awaiting the top of the 8th inning here. But as we do, let's quickly check the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. We'll start with scores around Major League Baseball right now. The Angels still leading the Orioles 4-1. That game just going to the bottom of the ninth inning, so the Orioles down to their last couple of outs. The Phillies have come back. They were trailing the Braves. They now lead the Braves 5-4 in the top of the eighth inning. Chris LaRue's two favorite teams, the Pirates and the Marlins, doing battle. A back-and-forth game. The Pirates leading the Marlins now 7-6 in the eighth inning. Brewers lead the Mets 4-1. The Nationals lead the Reds 4-3. The Royals continuing to absolutely crush the Twins 11-0 in the bottom of the sixth inning. For those of you who keep track of these kinds of things, Austin Martin, who was dealt to the Twins in the Jose Barrios trade, making his first start today, although, as you can see from 0 runs, not a lot of impact from any Twins players today. Yankees and Astros, that game tied bottom of the sixth inning 3-3. The Astros were trailing, but Yenier Diaz and Kyle Tucker tying that game in the bottom of the sixth inning, and Astros still have runners on, so that score can very possibly change. Cubs, Rangers tied at 5, bottom 4, and the Tigers lead the White Sox 2-1. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Still 9-1 Blue Jays. Let's send you over to Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue with the call of the game.
Thank you very much, Joe. Blue Jays fans, make sure you're at Rogers Center on Friday, April 12th for the golden opportunity to be one of the first 15,000 fans to get your hands on your very own Jose Barrios Gold Glove bobblehead and celebrate his first Gold Glove win with us. Head to bluejays.com/bobbleheads today to make sure you don't miss out on this exclusive giveaway. New pitcher for Tampa Bay, Garrett Clevenger in with the Blue Jays up 9-1. He sails a fastball high, and it's a 1-ball, no strike count against Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
And as a new bobblehead collector, I will be at that ball game.
You will. Well, as a broadcaster on this broadcast, you will be at that game as well. The 1-0. Down and in, 2-0. But it's cool. It kind of looks like Barrios has like a Gold Glove throne behind him. Vladdy stepping out of the box for a moment, now getting back in. He walked across the plate after that 1-0 pitch brushed him back to make it 2-0. Next offering, Clevenger misses way outside 3-0. He's been all over the map to start this appearance, his second of the season. Guerrero 0 for 2, but has walked twice. Tampa Bay making some defensive changes as well, as the next pitch is way outside. Ball 4, a 4-pitch walk for Vlad. He's walked now for the third time today, and Chris, I'm getting like spring training flashbacks right now. There have been 3 defensive substitutions for the Tampa Bay Rays. They brought everyone but the backup catcher off the bench. So Yanni Diaz is out. Austin Shenton replaces him. Curtis Meade is over at second in place of Brandon Lau. And Randy Arozarena is out. Richie Palacios is in. First pitch to Justin Turner, low 1-0. And hey, he's still that 10th triple of his career away from hitting for the cycle.
And I truly don't know how you do it. I was in awe in spring training when there were 8 substitutions at the end of a ball game, and you're just naming all these random guys.
The 1-0 is high, 2-0, 6 straight balls here for Clevenger.
But your answer is always, Google is your friend, Chris.
Yeah, you know, occasionally they'd bring in a guy they didn't even put on the roster sheet, or there's 2 guys in the same game, they both have the same number. It's got a certain charm to it, don't get me wrong, but it's you know, it's nice to only have 4 guys available to come into games for you now. The Rays using 3 of them, and Rortvedt, the catcher, going out to talk right now with Garrett Clevenger.
And of course, in spring training, a lot of the guys that come into ball games, they don't have names on the back of their jerseys, so it makes it even that much more difficult to know who's in that ball game.
But hey, we're through it, and we're in game 4 of the regular season now. Blue Jays at 1-2, Rays at 2-1, but Toronto with an 8-run lead. 2-0 to Turner is high ball 3. Garrett Clevenger's thrown 7 pitches, and he hasn't thrown a strike yet.
I am giving him the green light here. If I'm John Schneider, I would love for him to try for this cycle, or just another homer. How about that?
I was going to say, that sounds a little easier. The 3-0. Called strike 1. Turner with now 188 career home runs, 9 career triples.
Not likely, and like we said, in this ballpark, it's a very standard size ballpark.
The 3-1 pitch. Turner pops up a mile high. Foul territory on the right side. The first baseman, Shenton, getting called on right away, makes the catch. 1 out. Join the Toronto Blue Jays in honoring the life and legacy of Jackie Robinson at the ballpark on Monday, April 15th. Be among the first 15,000 lucky fans to receive a special Blue Jays Jackie Robinson 42 hat. Visit bluejays.com/promotions to learn more and purchase your ticket today. So finally, Turner went down. 3 for 4 is how his day will likely end. Here's Dalton Varsho. The pitch. High ball 1. Varsho walked his last time up. Other than that, he's 0 for 3. (1-0). Right down the middle, strike 1.
And Varsho is kind of struggling. You can see the Rays are really targeting that up and in zone. That's a cold zone for Dalton Varsho. So, I mean, the scouting report is out on him. If he can't either lay off that pitch or figure out a way to hit that pitch, he's probably going to struggle for the majority of this season.
Hits an inside fastball up the middle on a hop. It's speared by the shortstop Caballero. Throw from the outfield grass, not in time. Infield single, Dalton Varsho.
And he will gladly take that. I don't know if the Rays are going to challenge this, but he'll take that hit all day long, especially with the way he's swinging the bat.
The fans are not happy. They, I think, thought at the end of the 7th that the Ernie Clement play was going to be overturned because it looked like Guerrero's foot might be over the bag and off the bag, and the Rays challenged. It wasn't, and here they were very upset on that play. I think Varsho looked to beat it there. It was really tough for Caballero. Hard to tell on the extra looks we're getting. I think he's in there, or it's a tie.
Yeah, they won't overturn that. There's not enough evidence that he's out there. There might be.
The umpires have initiated a review here, though.
I think he's safe. I don't think they're going to overturn this, but you never know. I also saw Vladdy say I came off the bag when he when he made that play last inning. So,
but that play deserved to be an out with the throw that Ernie Clement made.
Yeah.
So right now the call on the field is an infield single for Varsho, and Guerrero up safely to second. If they overturn this, it would be 2 outs now. Guerrero would still be at second base, but Varsho wouldn't be there. Umpires right now look to be ready. And they have called him out. So the call overturned. It will be a 6-3 put out, and the hustle not rewarded there for Varsho. He does advance Guerrero to second here with 2 down in the top of the 8th, and Alejandro Kirk coming up. I was going to say, the one thing for Varsho that has definitely carried over so far, he wanted to be more patient in the spring. He's walked in each of the last 3 games to start the year, but 0 for 4 now after that was overturned. Here's Kirk, who's 1 for 4. The pitch. Popped up, foul out of play, 0-1.
He's definitely being more patient, but you can really tell, like I said, the Rays are targeting that cold spot, that the up and in, not off the plate, but in the strike zone, up around the hands. That's a tough pitch to hit for any hitter, and Dalton Varsho clearly has that cold spot there.
The 0-1. Kirk hits a looper to right field. Rosario on a slide makes the play. Nice catch. Glove pressed down to the turf. He takes a hit and an RBI away from Alejandro Kirk and keeps it 9-1. Middle of the 8th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Everyone dreams of owning their own personal slice of heaven. Now you can, thanks to Fixed Rate Pizza by Pizza Pizza. Until the end of 2024, lock into an extra-large 4-topping pizza at a fixed price of $17.99. No matter how bad food prices get this year, your pizza price stays. So why not say no to surge pricing and yes to fixed-rate pizza? Order now from Pizza Pizza.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important news bulletin. Desjardins Insurance was spotted downtown helping everyone in its path. Unpredictable weather, fallen tree branches, wayward baseballs flying towards second-story windows. Desjardins Insurance is helping Canadians through it all. Is there nothing this large and friendly ally won't do for neighbors in need? Never before have we seen insurance with a heart so big it shows.
Desjardins Insurance, home and auto. Learn more at desjardins.com/heart.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Fastball painted at the bottom of the zone, and that's back-to-back strikeouts.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network. Back half of the 8th inning, and the Blue Jays all over the Rays. 9-1, Toronto leads Tampa Bay at Tropicana Field. Blue Jays pitching has limited Tampa Bay to 2 hits today, and with that large lead, the Blue Jays will get Alejandro Kirk a little bit of rest before hopping on the plane. Brian Serven is in defensively, and Mitch White delivers a first-pitch swinging strike to Jose Caballero, 0-1.
Yeah, we saw that in the first game. There were actually questions as to why John Schneider didn't take Alejandro out in the 6th or the 7th inning, and here he clearly makes the call to give him a little bit of rest.
Next pitch is up and outside, 1-1. They've managed Kirk pretty well in the fact that they went 2 days. Now he had an off day, then he'll come in and play part of a game today. The 1-1. Hit well to right. Biggio backing up in front of the warning track, stops and makes the catch. 1 down. Presumably Brian Serven, who consistently caught Bowden Francis in the spring, will catch tomorrow. Then you can have Kirk go the back 2 days of Houston, have an off day, and maybe even go 2 more days after that in New York before the day game, or pardon me, before the finale, which, yes, is a day game after a night game. 1 out, Austin Shenton batting for the first time today. The left-handed hitter takes strike 1. Wasn't a guarantee that Shenton was going to make this team, but some injuries on the position players side for the Rays opened up his spot. Shenton, a 5th-round pick by Seattle in 2019. The 0-1 fouled off, 0-2.
He had an incredible season last year in the minor leagues. 304, 29 homers, 99 RBIs. This guy's a guy that should be in the big leagues.
First baseman, third baseman. Well, he came in fighting for a job, but he just really didn't have a great spring. 195 average, 14 strikeouts, 15 games in the spring. Behind 0-2 to White. The right-hander for the Blue Jays into the wind, his pitch. Downstairs, ball 1. And defensively, I think he's still developing a bit. In the game he played against the Blue Jays at third base in the spring, he committed 3 errors at third base in just a handful of innings. Playing first base today in place of Yandy Diaz now. The 1-2 fouled off. But like you said with Schneider, I mean, if you hit like that, you're going to get into the lineup in some spot in some way pretty soon.
Absolutely.
White looking for the strikeout here, rears back and fires. And Shenton lays off a breaking ball that bounced in front of the plate.
And again, Mitch White's looked pretty good today. His velocity's a little bit down from spring training. I think the highest I've seen today is 95, and that was maybe just once. But his curveball has good action to it. He's locating his pitches, which is probably the most important thing, because last year he struggled with command a little bit.
White in his 3rd inning of work, 1 out and the base is empty, bottom 8. The 2-2. Hit well to left. Going back, Schneider, and in front of the track, he'll make the catch. And there have been a lot of long outs, but they're outs all the same. There are 2 down.
John Schneider will take that. Pete Walker will take that, as long as he's saving that bullpen. The Houston Astros are up next, so you know that the bullpen will be used, and it's a good thing that Mitch White is saving that bullpen today.
White walked the first batter he saw. 1 batter reached on a Turner error. That's the only guy he's led on since. Here's Curtis Mead, the Australian, coming in defensively like Shenton did last inning. He fouls off the first pitch to make it 0-1. 2 outs, 9-1 Blue Jays, bottom of the 8th inning. Oh, 1 to the right-handed hitting Mead. Low, 1-1. Meade signed with the Phillies in 2018, was traded to the Rays after the 2019 season for left-handed pitcher Christopher Sanchez. Debuted last year. The 1-1. Bounce softly up the third base line. Foul picked up by Turner in the third base coach's box. Mitch White a strike away here from finishing a third scoreless inning. 43 pitches he's used so far. It's the bottom of the 8th, and the Blue Jays are up 9-1. One-two, fouled off.
I'd imagine if there was anybody on the bench that could play third base, Justin Turner probably wouldn't be in this ballgame anymore. Get him off his feet. It's a long ball game.
Yeah, I mean, you could put Kiermaier in and shift other people around, but I don't think they want to do that. And then you have Vogelback, who is not going to play third, and Bo Bichette, who was removed from the lineup today. 1-2 is bounced, 2-2. If you weren't with us earlier, Bichette was supposed to be in, but before the game started was taken out of the lineup with neck spasms. White takes a deep breath, slightly from the first base side of the rubber. He'll get into the wind. His pitch. Hit well to right, but foul, out of play. You could put Turner at second and IKF at third. Again, that doesn't really do much, but Turner has played second in his career, both with the Mets, and actually played it more last year with Boston than he did third base. 2-2 again. Low, full count. Richie Palacios will hit for the first time today if Meade can extend this inning. The Australian asks for time. White's payoff pitch. Hit on the ground on 3 hops, picked up at short by Clement, who throws over to first. Pick on the backhand side by Vladdy to end the inning. 1-2-3 for Mitch White, and we go to the 9th with the Blue Jays up 9-1, looking for a second win of the season. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Experience the excitement of the men's and women's NCAA basketball tournaments on Sirius XM and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The 1 seed to the brink and holds on.
Search March Madness to hear Westwood One's coverage of all the games.
Holy smokes, what a play!
Plus pre- and post-game shows and get analysis on basketball and beyond with Coach K. Get radio channels for your games at SiriusXM.com/sports or search March Madness on the all-new Sirius XM app.
You love listening to baseball. You love talking about baseball. You love yelling at your buddies about baseball because they love baseball, and so do we. That's why SiriusXM has the only channel on the radio dedicated to baseball 24/7. It's MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89. News, opinions, passionate baseball talk from former players and GMs, plus interviews with players, managers, and executives, and much, much, much more. If you can hear me right now, you've got MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
The most important person in sports is you, the fan.
Let me tell you something. I'm a real fan.
And your place for sports talk is Mad Dog Sports Radio, where your voice is heard all day long.
I couldn't wait to get into the truck, turn on 82.
Share the thrill of victory.
The joy, the jubilation. I can't stop smiling.
And the agony of defeat.
When is this franchise going to realize people really care about this?
Passionate sports fans call 888-MAD-DOG-6.
You gotta love sports.
Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, or anytime on the Sirius XM app. Blue Jays fans, after this game, get back to what's really important. Your fantasy football team. We're talking about it right now on Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and the Sirius XM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome to the Timbermark broadcast booth. Top of the 9th inning, Blue Jays up 9-1. Ernie Clement leads off. First pitch from Garrett Clevenger, high and outside, 1-0. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Blue Jays trying to wrap this one up before they hop on the plane tonight, head to Houston to start a 3-game set with the Astros tomorrow. The 1-0. Clement pops it up. Shenton running from first base into foul territory. We'll watch it go into the second row of seats. 1-1.
And to kind of expand on what I said earlier about Vlad making that great play at first base on that Ernie Clement play, after he made that play, the camera came in on his face, and I could see him saying to Alejandro Kirk, "I was off the bag."
Here's the 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Well, you know what? The umps here doesn't hurt at the end of it. Clement's 1 for 4 today, has scored twice. Singled in the 5th, reached on a fielder's choice in the 7th. 1-2 pitch is grounded softly to short. Caballero comes up with it quickly, throws over to first. Good stretch by Shenton, 1 down.
But Ernie Clement's looked great today at shortstop. He's made every play he's supposed to make. He's made even a couple plays that aren't routine, like that last one he made backhand that he threw kind of Jeter-like across the diamond. Actually, exactly like Jeter probably would have made that play. I'm really impressed with how he's playing shortstop. The vacuum.
Clement at short today, 3rd yesterday, has looked good both days. Here's Davis Schneider. Swing and a miss on a high heater, 0-1. Schneider 1 for 3 with a home run and a walk. A 1 pitch. Outside, 1-1. Davis got off to as good of a start as you really can last year. 370 average, 8 home runs in his first 25 games. 1-1. Breaking ball in there, strike 2. Then in the last 10, he went 2 for 35, didn't homer. And those 2 hits came on the final day of the season, actually, against the Tampa Bay Rays. Just trying to even that out a little bit more. Like you mentioned, deal with the high heat or find a way around it. 1-2 pitch. Low ball 2.
Well, we were talking to Guillermo Martinez in spring training, and he mentioned to me that Davis Schneider isn't necessarily taking the loop out of his swing. I find that makes it difficult for him to hit that elevated fastball. They just want him to lay off of it.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Chased after a low breaking ball, and Schneider's down for the second out. Chad Green's getting loose for the Blue Jays, by the way, so it looks like he will finally get some work here this season. If he does, then that means that Mitch White's day is over, and we talked about it a bit, Chris, but it's got to be a positive and encouraging first outing for Mitch White in 2024.
Yeah, we talked about his velo. His velo is not where it was in spring training, but
first pitch to Kevin Biggio, chopped foul, 0-1.
But everything else seemed like it was where it needed to be. His off-speed pitches were spinning, and he was locating his fastball. I always think location is more important than velocity.
0-1 to Biggio with 2 outs. Balled, strike 2.
And yeah, Mitch White looked great today. I think he's I wouldn't necessarily say that you can just insert him into the starting rotation and he'd be great, but as a long guy for this bullpen right now, he's the perfect fit.
0-2 pitch. Just outside. Biggio takes it and stays up there at 1-2. I mean, I don't think I'm speculating and saying that their intention is not to have him as a starter, more as a reserve starter and as a long man if possible. The 1-2. Called, strike 3. Backup slider beats Biggio. Back-to-back strikeouts for Clevenger sends us to the bottom of the 9th. 9-1 Blue Jays. Chad Green making his season debut when we return. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Blue Jays are inviting you to work from Dome. Put it in your calendar. 307 weekday starts this season. You can work from Dome with friends or coworkers at Rogers Center. It's a game changer. Make the ballpark your office for the afternoon. Work from Dome, 307 weekday starts. Let's touch base. Check out ticket options on BlueJays.com/workfromdome.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
You're my son. Tomorrow at 8:10 p.m. Eastern, 5:10 p.m. Pacific, the Blue Jays are at Minute Maid Park to take on the Astros. Bowden Francis will make the start for Toronto against Ronel Blanco. And it's going to be quite the spectacle to see Bowden Francis's first start, Chris, the Blue Jays and the Astros tomorrow night.
Well, I'm excited to see him. He's got everything you want in a frontline big league starter. Can he be a 1? That's tough. But
you're asking Jays talk questions.
But I potentially see him as a 3 or 4, and not necessarily with this team, but with any team in his big league career. He's got the big stuff. He's got and he's added that split finger. I think he can be very, very effective for this team.
Yeah, I think so too. A Jays Talk caller did call in a couple days ago and say he thought he'd be the 1. I appreciate the optimism.
I don't think he could be a 1.
On this team
hard.
this year was also the context too. That's in the future. Who knows? Chad Green starts the bottom of the 9th with a fastball for a strike. It's 9-1 Blue Jays at the Trop. Next pitch to Richie Palacios is low ball 1.
And it is the 9th inning. Maybe that's why I got a little Jays talky on you.
Oh, that's okay. Jays Talk is coming up, and it's no slight to Jays Talk. Jays Talk is coming up with Show Ali and Julia Kreutz. The 1-1. High drive to right field by Palacios. Going back at the wall, a leap from Biggio, and he makes the catch. Wasn't at full speed, but still a nice play from Kevin Biggio for the first out. Richie Palacios set down.
Yeah, Biggio had a beat on that the whole way. He hit the wall, but I think he made that look pretty easy. He's an athlete, man. He does everything.
Palacios, by the way, the younger brother of former Blue Jay Joshua Palacios, who played for the Blue Jays and the Pirates. Here's Harold Ramirez. First pitch in the dirt, 1-0. But yeah, it's a good series of matchups. You get projected Francis, Blanco. Here's the 1-0 from Green to Ramirez. Fouled off, 1-1. Then the Blue Jays will likely go back to Jose Barrios, who would match up with Framber Valdez. And then you could get Chris Bassett and Christian Javier matching up in Game 3. The 1-1. Fouled back again, 1-2. Astros dealing with some injuries in the rotation. Obviously, Justin Verlander stealing on the headlines. 1-2 pitch hit hard on the ground to short. Backhanded up by Clement. Throw to first in time. 2 down, and the Rays are down to their final life.
And just another incredibly smooth backhand from Ernie Clement. I'm telling you, he looks great over there.
Clement's probably made, 4 or 5 assists so far in this game. My scorebook says 5 over at short. Actually, it says 6. 6 ground balls to short today. First pitch to Isaac Paredes is hit high and deep to left. Schneider at the wall, looking up, that's gone. Isaac Paredes knocks in a run here for Tampa Bay to make it a 9-2 ball game, and Chad Green gives up a homer in his first appearance of the season.
Yeah, and I don't think Chad Green was expecting Isaac Paredes to hit the first pitch right there. Kind of ambushes him on a fastball down and in. 9-1 ball game. You don't really expect guys to swing first pitch, but who knows what Paredes is thinking.
Well, for Paredes, he only had 1 hit so far this year, and it was in the infield. So he goes out there, gets his second hit and his first home run of the season.
Yeah, you generally want take a couple pitches, start a rally.
First pitch to Ahmed Rosario is low, 1-0. 9-2 for the Blue Jays now. Bottom of the 9th inning. The 1-0. High, 2-0. Chad Green's thrown 10 pitches so far today. 2 outs and the base is empty. Looking for one more to finish this game. His 2-0 is low, 3-0. Rosario 0 for 3 after starting his season 3 for 4. The 3-0. Called strike one. Rosario was stepping out of the box before that pitch even landed. Now he's back in there and awaiting the 3-1 from Green. Here it comes. Fouled off. He beat that off the ground, and then his right side kind of gripping his ribs right now. It's 3-2.
Yeah, I think Chad Green right now is having a little bit of trouble locating his fastball, so he goes to the curveball there at 3-1.
Three-two pitch. Popped up, foul, and out of play, and Green will look to end the game once again.
And that velo is starting to creep up for Green, too. That was 96 right there.
It's got to be weird. You know, he pitches in spring like a normal spring, and then spring shut down on Monday. This is the first time he's pitched in a game since. 3-2. Outside with a fastball, ball 4, and the game continues. Going to prompt a mound visit from Brian Servin. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. walking out there as well as Jose Siri is about to come up. Siri 0 for 2. Hit by a pitch when Kevin Gausman faced his last batter in the 5th. Other than that, it's a strikeout and a fielder's choice ground out. Blue Jays getting Yenesis Cabrera loose right now as well. Cabrera, it was announced, suspended 3 games for the altercation he had with Jose Caballero yesterday, although that is under appeal, and until that decision is put down, Cabrera can pitch for the Blue Jays. Here's the offering to Siri. It's lined up the middle. Diving play at second by IKF to win the game. He goes full extension to bring it in, and the Blue Jays win 9-2 and get a series split here, Chris, in the first series of the season at the Trop.
And there were so many good things today. So many good things offensively, so many great things defensively. You have Kevin Gausman. We've talked about Ernie Clement. And then you have Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to end the game. A diving play up the middle. Today was one of the most complete games I've seen the Blue Jays play in a long, long time.
There are 2 wins so far this season, 8-2, and today 9-2. The Blue Jays, though, 2-2 as they head to Houston. We're not done, though, just because the Blue Jays have finished up. This one doesn't mean our coverage stops now. Stick around. We'll have more on the other side. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
When you have an iconic look like Danny Jansen, picking new glasses can be tough.
Too big, too small, too cool, too much, too 90s, too futuristic. I think I'm just going to stick with the originals. These are working just fine.
He is really seeing the ball well. Your friends will do a double take when they see you in your Danny Jansen new blue replica jersey and glasses.
And he's got some style.
On Monday, April 29th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a Jano bundle. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Everyone dreams of owning their own personal slice of heaven. Now you can, thanks to Fixed Rate Pizza by Pizza Pizza. Until the end of 2024, lock into an extra large 4-topping pizza at a fixed price of $17.99. No matter how bad food prices get this year, your pizza price stays. So why not say no to surge pricing and yes to Fixed Rate Pizza? Order now from Pizza Pizza.
Go to pizzapizza.ca. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Springer charges the ball to left field. It's in the seats, and the Blue Jays are on the board.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The Blue Jays win 9-2 and leave with a split in Tampa Bay, or in St. Petersburg, more accurately. They beat the Tampa Bay Rays 9-2 today on the back of a huge performance by Justin Turner and the debut of Kevin Gausman. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Chris, we'll get to Justin Turner in just a moment, but Kevin Gausman today takes the mound for the first time after he had only pitched once in the spring. He pitched into the 5th inning, went 4 1/3, 2 hits, 1 run, did not walk anyone, did hit a batter, struck out 6. What did you think of how he looked today and what that means going forward?
Well, I think the biggest thing looking at his game today was he was 100% healthy. The last pitch of the game, we talked about this, was 98 miles an hour. If that's your last pitch of the game, you are healthy. And you look at his numbers. Sure, his numbers were great. 4 1/3, 2 hits, 1 run, 6 Ks, but most importantly, no walks. Kevin Gausman, hopefully after this game, when he wakes up tomorrow, will feel 100% normal and everything will be smooth for the rest of the season. 32 starts coming up.
Kevin Gausman helps the Blue Jays to a 9-2 win, but he was helped out too. A guy who so often gets very little run support, had the third lowest run support of any starter last year in the majors at 3.55. Well, today the Blue Jays jumped all over Tampa Bay pitching, and a big reason why was Justin Turner. Not only did he come up with the RBI single to knock in a run in the first inning, but he stepped up in the second inning with 2 outs and the bases loaded and did this. The lefty's in the set. His 2-2 again. Turner hits a high drive to left. Arozarena going back. It's off the top of the wall. 1 run is in. Springer coming in to score. Guerrero stops at third. It's a 2-run double for Turner, and he was maybe 5 feet from a grand slam.
And like we said, he is hitting the ball hard right now. Foul, fair, it doesn't matter. Everything is on a line. That's why the Blue Jays brought him in. The Blue Jays struggled last year with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. And Justin Turner, like you said, is hitting .311 career with runners in scoring position. He is a run producer. 4 RBIs today for him. 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs. Guy's a stud. Everything he hit today was hard. We saw he had a couple balls foul on the pull side, line drives. And then everything else he hit was hard. He's a guy that produces runs. That's what he does, and he's always done that. He had 97 RBIs last year. He made a little blunder at third base. We'll forget about that. He's not the everyday third baseman for this team, so we'll forget about that. But he just hits, and that's what he's been paid to do over the last 12 years is hit baseballs, and today was no different.
Turner ends up with a single, a double, a homer, a walk, and as you said, 4 RBIs, 2 runs scored. The Blue Jays get a big performance out of Davis Schneider, who hits his first home run of the year and walked. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa reached base 3 out of 4 times with 2 hits and a walk. Vladdy reached base 3 times. Springer reached base in each of the first 2 innings, although he went 0 for 3 after that. Was a big force in them taking that early lead. And Ernie Clement came up with a hit, scored twice today as well. And then on the pitching side, you got really strong outings out of the pen from Nate Pearson and Mitch White. Mitch White comes up with the victory today. They give him the win because Kevin Gausman didn't go 5 innings. So White goes to 1-0 on the year. Sean Armstrong goes to 0-1 on a day where the Blue Jays scored 9 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. They left 8 on base, but went 4 for 11, over 300 with runners in scoring position. The Rays scored 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error. They left 5 on base, only had 1 shot with runners in scoring position with how good the Blue Jays were today. That game took a bit under 3 hours, 2:47 inside Tropicana Field in front of about 15,000 fans. And the Blue Jays moved to 2-2 because of it. We'll be back tomorrow, Chris, with the Blue Jays and the Astros at 8:10.
Can't wait. Get your sleep, buddy. Late one tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, appreciate everyone tuning in today. For Chris, our technical director, Tom Young, Nick Blackmore, our producer, and Show Ali, our host. I'm Ben Schulman. Hope you have a great night, and hope you stick around and get to your phones because the roller coaster of emotions just keeps going up and down. And it's going right up to the top right now as Jays Talk with Show Ali and Julia Kreutz starts right now.
Well, Julia, in a stark contrast to yesterday, perhaps the last 2 games, the Bats came alive down at the Trop. We got a number of bombs, including one from Davis Schneider. But even with Kevin Gausman on the mound, I find it hard to start anywhere else but Justin Turner. This is the Justin Turner is a Blue Jay game. Just 3 games into the season, 4 RBI, including a solo home run as a cherry on top. A 9-2 Blue Jays win over the Rays. It guarantees the series split. And, you know, that it came at the Trop. a place that we have referred to as the House of Horrors
among other things,
among many other things, perhaps things you can't see on the air. I view that as a win. I really do.
For sure. It's we all knew that this was going to be a tough series to start the season for the Blue Jays. They more than held their own, and when the opportunities presented themselves, they took them. In the middle there, it did seem a little bit dire. It seemed like the Blue Jays were maybe reversing to a lot of what we saw last year, and then you have a game like today that kind of shows that this new approach, this simplified approach, the fact that strategy is a little more personalized from guy to guy this season, that it's paying off, right? And to talk about Turner, I think it's a classic example. If at first you don't succeed, try again, because he was really trying to hit the ball out of the park. He almost did a couple of times. Just missed a grand slam, and everything to the left side, right? So this is where he shines. It's where it's at his best, and he knows it. And there's nothing more valuable than a tried and true player who knows who he is and what he can bring to the table. What we saw, and I believe even the pitch right before his homer was he just missed
it.
And so you can see that he was really swinging the ball at his best. This is also what we saw a ton of in spring training for Turner. And listen, this is a guy that will swing and miss quite a bit. It is also part of his game, whether you like it or not. But when he's driving the ball the way that he did today, just a triple shy of the cycle, although the hardest one to get.
True.
It's very encouraging for the Blue Jays, and even more encouraging, Joe, is the fact that it wasn't just him.
That is Julia Kreutz. I'm Show Ali. You're listening to Jays Talk. We are live on Sportsnet.ca, on the Sportsnet app, and across the Sportsnet radio network. Give us a call, 416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star 590 on your cellular device. You can shoot us a text as well, 590-590. Name and location. The People's Text line, as I like to say, is always open. I know it's Easter, but if you maybe your Easter dinner plans have not gotten started yet, certainly give us a call.
Sure.
Shoot us a text, and we will get you on the air. And Justin Turner, great start to the game because he did it also against two different pitchers, right? Because the Rays had the opener today. I think it was Sean Armstrong, and then Tyler Alexander saw the bulk of the work, as we knew. 2 ABs resulted in 3 RBI, really solid discipline. And to your point, Turner was brought in to alleviate issues that stemmed from hitting with runners in scoring position for a lot of last year. I think it kind of evened out by the end of the season, but for much of the year, hitting with runners in scoring position was a huge bugaboo for these Blue Jays. And the Jays, on top of needing more just from that overall, they just needed more from their stars today because there was no Bo Bichette. He was scratched pretty late right before first pitch with the neck spasms. And we're talking about this in the pregame show, but you needed more with no Bo from Springer, from Vladdy, and certainly Turner as well. And it was good to see that come through pretty early because on a day where Kevin Gausman, you knew he wasn't going to go very long, it was nice to have him get some run support very early on, and I think that helped. It seemed to calm everything down pretty much right away.
Yeah, and it's interesting too that it wasn't one big inning or one big at bat, which is also something that maybe last year we didn't see enough of. Is the Blue Jays just piling it on and tacking on those insurance runs and making things easier on the staff, on the coaching staff and on the pitching staff, for John Schneider to be able to send Mitch White out for 3 innings and really not worry about, will we surrender a lead? Will he be sharp enough to keep this going and to keep the momentum and things like that? That's huge as well. So when the offense is clicking, this is what we see. The entire team has a lot to gain, and that's what we saw today. Gausman, like you said, went to 4 1/3, which is 69 pitches, which is it's fine, right?
Nice.
We okay, you take it away. I can't with this. No, I'm kidding. It's a great outing for him. We knew that he was going to be in a little bit of a limit here. We still expect him to be in a limit next time, perhaps around 90 pitches. But as you can see, 69 pitches from Kevin Gausman are as nice as you're going to get it.
I can resist. I'm sorry. Look, to wrap up on Justin Turner as well, real quick, what do you think the chances are that Luis Rivera, had he still been at third base, would have sent Turner in the first inning. If I could pick a number higher than 100%,
right,
I would. Yeah. Absolutely. Carlos Feblis, who obviously knows Turner from his days with the Red Sox, and you can actually see. So we get the kind of the dirty feed, as they call it, not the clean feed here at Baseball Control. So you can kind of see what the cameras are seeing when it's not going to air. And one of the things they showed in between one of the innings, Julia, was Turner. He was kind of coming up the bottom steps of the dugout, and Feblis was standing at the top of the dugout of those steps, and Turner, like, he reached out as if to like tickle him or something, and they looked like they were just having a grand old time out there. And I don't know, I definitely underscores the fact that they have a relationship. Right. So I mean, beyond the human element of that, you would think that someone, even if just for 1 year in Boston last year, that Feblis does know Turner and his capabilities. So that's also a positive. And certainly, I mean, you see how the trickle down effect will be like for a lot of these other guys as well. Yeah. But certainly, the first thing I noticed was that not happening, because it feels like in years past you would have seen the wind at third as Turner's motoring around at 39 years old.
Listen, we've seen a lot in the Blue Jays dugout over the years. We have seen dancing, we have seen home run jackets, Lourdes Gurriel Jr. famously mixing cocktails, but tickling, I think it had been a while at least. So that was it's also fun to see. And of course, Feblis and Turner had last season together, and then they come into a new clubhouse, the two of them as new guys, and there's really a lot of value in just finding that familiar face, and I think that's what we're seeing here. It's very clear that they have a very good relationship. If you take notice, whenever Justin Turner homers, just keep an eye on that third base line when it's time to greet the third base coach there with the intensity that JT will greet Feblis there. It's kind of fun to see that there's that relationship going as well, which in turn honestly helps both guys sort of build a little more chemistry with the rest of their teammates here. So pretty nice to see, and really what we saw today was just vintage JT doing what he does best.
Absolutely. He was a lot of fun to watch, and 4 runs in a 9-run outing from the Blue Jays offense, definitely helping Kevin Gausman, as you mentioned, 69 pitches, 4 1/3, no walks, 6 strikeouts, great stuff from Gausman, and he did not look all that bothered by the home run he gave up to Rosarena early on. I kind of thought to myself, what's the result going to be? What's the bounce back going to be? But Gausman, and we know this over the last couple of years, has never been someone who gets all that fazed by pretty much anything that goes on the mound. I still think the most emotion I've seen him show on the mound was when he got kind of yelled at was he ejected from against the Orioles at Camden Yards for arguing a balk or whatever it was.
Right.
So
that did happen.
That was a couple of years ago. Right anyways, you don't see him get too fazed by anything. So good to see him go out there, and good to see him both kind of straddle the line between not getting hit around and getting the work in, because you knew he was going to be on some kind of limit, but also, to your point, being built up towards maybe getting him towards 90 pitches, because that's a difficult thing to balance, right? Like
yes.
you want him to go out there and pitch well, not get hit, go deep-ish into a ball game, but also you want him to get his pitches in, because you can't just have him throw 50 pitches. He needs to kind of continue working towards some kind of goal. And so it seems like the perfect scenario happened for Gausman today, that he got the run support, relatively low stress. Pitchers like to use the term stressful innings.
Yes.
Not a lot of stressful innings for Gausman today.
Not a ton. And that does help. You and I spoke about this pre-game show. Gausman is very used to not pitching with a ton of run support, but when he comes in and the Blue Jays score twice in the first inning, he allows that opposite field home run to Randy Arozarena, which honestly, what are you going to do, right? Arozarena just very clearly is locked in right now to start the season, and that's what we're seeing. Yeah. Incredible start on both ends of the ball. He also stole some runs away from the Blue Jays.
He ran face first to the left field wall to catch the ball.
You don't see that every day, and you don't see guys that can actually make those plays. And so, no, Gausman should not be super concerned about that. We know that Randy is a showman, and we know that this is what he does, and keeping sort of an even keel there is in everyone's best interest. And Gausman is truly one of the best in doing that. He is the steady hand of this rotation, and exactly who the Blue Jays needed on the mound here to sort of right the ship, let's say, come out of the trap with a series split, which honestly at this point it's all they could hope for, really.
416-870-0590, 1-888-666-0590, star 590 on your cell. Let's go to the phones here on Jays Talk. Russ from New Jersey joins us. Russ, what's on your mind, man? How's it going?
Good afternoon, guys. So it's 4 games into the season. I'm not going to get carried away about anything. The one thing you just also got to watch from Turner is I think some points this year you're gonna think about how Matt Chapman was your third baseman defensively because, Blue Jays a great defensive team last year, made 5 errors in the first 4 games. So, like I said, it's 4 games into the season. I'm not going to get carried away, but he has 2 games in a row he's made an error, and today was a routine ground ball that he just didn't make the right throw. On the plus side, Vladdy Guerrero, 5 walks in the first 4 games. Now, there were times last year, me, I call the show a lot, that you think he was pressing too hard. And Vladdy Guerrero's the guy, he's going to hit 50 homers, and I think it started to get to him because he wasn't, from the top producers in home runs. But the only way you're going to get to that is if you lay off the bad pitches and you don't press, then you'll see some better pitches to hit. He only hit 1 homer a series. That's fine, but he got 5 walks, which, pitchers are going to figure out that he's not going to press, hopefully, and he's not going to try to hit, a ball, over the wall that's outside the strike zone. So you hope that, gets him better pitches to hit in the, in other situations, down the road. Dalton Varsho, 140. It's 4 games into the season, but I'm already he's tough to watch on the plate. He was tough to watch last year. He had a couple spurts. He got the big hit against the Dodgers, we remember, and he got a big home run here and there. But his defense is great, but his offense is just, you sometimes wonder, you think he has all the tools, and especially Gurriel starting out also really good in Arizona this year. And, you gave the kid catcher up, who was really good for them, especially in the playoffs. So that's my comments. Like I said, 4 games, no reason to get carried away either way. And, go play Houston. But, at the end of April, or I would say 30, 40 games, maybe Memorial Day, you really take a look, where this team is. So I'll wait and see, but those were my comments for the first 4 games.
Hey, appreciate it, Russ. Thanks for joining us here on Jays Talk. Thanks for the call. I, first of all, wholeheartedly agree on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. because, would I like to see more home runs from Vladdy, especially for my 40-plus home run prediction for Vladdy? Absolutely, yes. But to Russ's points, the walks, and he clearly is focusing on swinging at a very specific part of the zone, like pitches in the zone, but even at a very specific part of where the zone is, right? Like the middle pitches. And he got yesterday a little bit. He got to swing. He got fooled, and he swung on one that was down and away. And today, I think he got called out on strikes and one he was clearly not pleased with. And you see the replay, and the ball was right on the line, right at the edge of the zone. It catches the zone. Terrific pitch. So not much you can do there. Pitchers are going to win those battles sometimes, but his discipline has been really good. I've been very impressed with his eye because we saw it a lot in 2021, Julia, and we didn't see it enough in the last couple of years, which is why I got, and I'm sure a lot of listeners got so frustrated with him because he's capable of it. So it's nice to see him get off to a good start to Russ's point over these first 4 games.
3 walks today, which is pretty phenomenal when all things considered for Vladdy. And we really saw a lot of what you just mentioned here, Show, which is, he worked up a couple of 3-0 counts, and the pitcher will come in with a breaking ball that does catch the zone, and he is just looking at it, right? Completely unfazed. It really doesn't matter to him right now if that pitch is in the zone or not, especially when he can work these hitter favorable counts. That means that he can be a little more selective. He can wait for what he's actually looking for and what he knows that he can drive. And if that doesn't come, then the pitchers are going to have to beat him in different ways. And when you put yourself in that position with the type of power and the type of talent that Guerrero has, then you're in a very good place to succeed. I do think that what we saw yesterday with a couple of chases and sort of a regression perhaps to 2023, you could also see that he was either shaking his head or nodding or, truly focused on, okay, what was it that I did there that I'm trying not to do moving forward? And then you come into today and you see that pay almost instant dividends with 3 walks. He will hit more home runs if he keeps doing that, because he is going to force pitchers to challenge him. And when they do, he's going to be ready as well, as we know that he can be. You see a more relaxed Vladdy this season, I think, and that's what is showing up at the plate right now.
Let's go back to the phones. Greg in Hamilton joining us here on Jays Talk. Greg, what's on your mind?
Yeah, so I was just thinking, so one of the questions I had was IKF. I know we paid a lot of money for this guy, and he had a good game today. But I'm just wondering, like, we have Schneider as an option. Why wouldn't we be using Schneider and then using IKF and Biggio to battle out for the other spot?
I think that's a valid question, Greg. Let me ask you, though, because I was thinking about this during the game as well. How do you split the difference between what Davis Schneider does, certainly what Biggio does, who you mentioned, and even someone like Ernie Clement, who played pretty well today?
Okay, yeah. So that's the thing for me. Even when they signed IKF, I didn't get it, because you've got Clement, which I think he should also have, like, he should probably play every day, like on a decent team. And then I think Schneider should play every day. And then it's like, then you have Biggio and IKF. I just don't see, because at the end of the day, we needed an extra bat, right? Like, we're waiting for the extra bat to come. And I think Clement or Schneider could be that extra bat. I don't think IKF or Biggio could be that power bat that we need. I think Clement could hit 20 home runs, but I think Schneider could hit even more than that.
Hey, I feel you, Greg. Appreciate the call. Thanks for joining us here on Jays Talk. Hey, Davis Schneider, it's funny because I feel like we haven't talked a lot about Davis Schneider, even in the spring to now, because it was kind of like a given that he was going to make the team because of what happened last year. And then we just hadn't seen him a whole lot, Julia, in this until today, essentially. And then he hits the bomb. And it's just funny, when he hit the home run, I thought to myself, oh, yeah, David Schneider's on this team. And it's funny because a lot of the conversation has been around, like, how many games is IKF going to start? Biggio had a good couple of games to start the year, and Ernie Clement deserves a lot of praise as well. It's true that, like, there are only so many positions to go around. I personally do prefer letting one guy kind of take the reins and try and run with it a little bit more. On the text line, too, to Greg's point, I see a lot of texts around Ernie Clement and just how the splits will go for the infield. Like the Alex in Toronto, all in all, happy with the split against Tampa Bay. Good showcase some of the new faces. Love that Schneider is keeping consistent with his debuts. Do we think Clement has earned everyday status yet? I see here Jen in Toronto. Clement looked good on D. Mike in Toronto. Ernie can really pick it. Can he do the same at third? I think so. Probably a better regular solution than IKF with a better bat. And Andrew H. in London. I'm so impressed by Clement, by both his offense and defense. He needs to be in the lineup every day right now. Nice to see Schneider with the home run as well. It's just, I do feel like it would probably behoove both those younger guys to get more playing time. It's just, do you issue a guy like Biggio, who's been around a little bit longer and had a good year last year, certainly as well. I can't ignore it. And IKF, who, you know, might be viewed as a bit of a sunk cost because he's getting paid a lot more money, but they also went out and got this guy. So how do you parse basically all four of those dudes?
Yeah, that's always going to be, a puzzle for the Blue Jays to solve. I do think that when you look at Davis Schneider, wherever you put him in the field, you're probably going to lose a little bit on defense, right? He is very much thought of as an offense-first type of guy, and he has made significant strides with his defense. But the truth is that the offense still drives how much he plays and where in the lineup he plays and all of that. So it is difficult with what the Blue Jays are trying to achieve and being an elite defensive team. That is one of the main reasons why they went out and got IKF, right? A guy that sure can put the bat on the ball with some consistency, but really offers them tremendous defense wherever you put him in the infield, and who can play a pretty serviceable outfield as well. There's more to the IKF deal than simply what he can do at the plate. And so the Blue Jays are probably going